Metaphysics is going to have to be the quote-unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely.
That quote just never gets old. It never gets old. Every time I hear it, it still makes perfect sense. So, how is everybody doing this week so far?
Tony the Tiger, bro.
Here we go.
That's the new slang. Everything is Tony. Is that a
Bringing
thing
it
now?
back. Bring it back, bro. Nostalgia pays.
Sure does.
Next thing you know, Kellogg's will be re-releasing old boxes, collector's items with NFTs and shit. Tony the Tiger NFTs.
I heard NFT is dead, by the way.
Yeah, no,
Out of here.
nope.
Everything of any value is dead right about now. If you got a stock portfolio, there's a lot of red.
Well, the technology is what's important. A lot of that hype shit that everybody was buying, like anything else. I mean, Beanie Babies are fucking dead too, but stuffed animals aren't. But it's just Beanie Babies. They had too much hype for too long, and the bubble popped. So you got caught holding the bag. This is what was gonna happen. Especially
I'm not
the
worried
most
about it.
expensive shit. Yeah, it's gonna make room for better shit. I think. I think we got the tech stuff out of the way. All of the goofy monkeys and shit like that is all out of the way, and now people will approach it a little bit more intelligently next time around. Hopefully, we'll see.
Listen, stock tip. I'm not your financial advisor. If all else fails, all they want is sex robots. Figure it out.
Just figure it out.
Just figure out. Just sex robots. Figure it out.
You know, I had a powerful realization recently about sex robots. And I realized that, a lot of people think about sex robots. They think about dudes and they're disgusting. They're like, oh, you just want something you can fuck. They can't say no. And I'll give them that. Some of that's granted. But I think also, maybe some men's lust for sex robots is actually their compassion. Maybe they just don't want to subject a human woman to the things that they really want to do. So it's their compassion making them want to act it out on a robot.
Righteous take on depravity. That is.
Yeah, it's pretty righteous.
Yeah.
I just want something I want to fuck and just not have to hear about it after I'm done.
And not have to think about the reciprocal nature of it. I don't have to worry about my left stroke, my right stroke. I could just pound this thing out and go back to watching the game.
Yep. Living my life.
You can't really do that with a human.
No, you cannot. You gotta work your way into it. You gotta talk to it. You gotta, soothe it out.
You know what I mean? The people are referred to as inanimate. In your mind, none of them have souls. Look, anybody that's willing to have sex with a sex robot should be having sex with a sex robot, because I think that there's just a cutoff. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that people would be like, hey, I like fucking people, and now I'm willing to fuck a robot. I think for the people that are willing to cross that line, like it's proof in and of itself that it is something that's needed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not against them. I think we already created one of the best inventions in that department anyway, but I'm totally not against them. I just thought about that recently and think maybe it's not all about, disgusting chauvinistic pig shit. Maybe it's like you really don't want to be present for this, ma'am. You wait in the other room. I'll go work this shit out, and then I'll come. We can have a human conversation.
Yeah, it's like Dexter. I've got to kill.
Right.
Whether or not I kill is not up for debate. I'm definitely killing. But if I must kill, let me kill the right people that should be killed. And that's it. This sexual aggression, this rectal angst is going to get out one way or the other. And it's better I take it out on something that's not alive.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with this. Trust me, lady. Yeah. You do not want to deal with this. It won't be pretty.
Fuck the market. They tell you this every time. Everything's going to go to zero. It's the end of the world. And every single time it recovers. And the people that don't take their money out are just fine. And they make all the money back. And I think there's so much retail in at this point that said, fuck it. I don't think it's even going to be as a collapse as much as what they're saying is going to be. But who the fuck knows? It's irrelevant because we're all going to make a lot of money because I have the absolute best movie ideas of all time. I stumbled across gold in my mental meandering. And so I submitted before the Council of Gentlemen for approval and for further absurdity mining. So,
get it.
do y'all remember Milo and Otis, The Adventures of Milo and
Oh
Otis?
yes, absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Please remind me, please.
So, go ahead.
It's
By
a
all
dog,
means.
a dog and a cat, right? And they go on like a adventure.
It's basically live action before they had CGI, right? So
Yeah.
they didn't have all these ways to animate the animals' mouths or whatever, but it was basically telling the story in live action, which should be reserved for a cartoon. Because there's thoughts and intentions attributed to the animals. Like they have somebody narrating their voice, right? And it's basically a real live action story of like these animals like going out on this adventure, and the person narrates it for them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Milo and Otis. I remember that's a classic, and I'm not guilty about watching it either. That was the joint
Listen,
back in the
it's
day with Benji.
I
All
think-
these animal movies. There was a whole bunch of them. Homeward
Yeah,
Bound.
there was a
Yeah.
lot of those, so I think I might have missed that one.
Okay.
I've definitely seen Homeward Bound.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the classics, though. Milo and Otis.
it's
Wow.
absolutely adorable. Now, what does that look like as a period piece? What does that look like as a
Hmm.
drama? And I'll tell you the origin for all of this, which I think is pretty good as well. But off of that one origin thought, it
You already
branched
got
off.
me at Milo and Otis, by the way.
Listen, it branched off in two very troubling and dark avenues. Like it branched off to two distinct properties, which are absolutely horrible, but I think they're worthy. So the first one I came up with is, what does it look like when you redo that Nat Turner movie? What was it, Birth of a Nation?
Oh boy.
But with adorable animals in live action. Otis, Milo, and Otis in Milo and Otis fashion, but you kind of retell it as an allegory, kind of like how Animal Farm was, like the Soviet Union or whatever, right? So there's all the animals, it's a family or a couple or whatever. They own a bunch of these animals, and the animals notice like the humans get the better food. They don't really care about them, and they kind of plot their Nat Turner revenge on the humans. And so there's just they eat the baby, they
man.
throat in their sleeps, like, and they talk in that same way. Like, we's got to get them, Otis.
Oh,
like
no.
it's just horrible.
It has to be
No.
a comedy, and they almost kill the baby.
No,
That's
yeah,
what
that's
they
the
have
yeah.
to.
If you actually want to
Almost
sell
kill
The
it,
source material if they don't kill the baby.
no, you got to
It's not
get
gonna be
Eli Roth.
approved.
You got to
It's
get
not
Eli
gonna-
Roth.
What? He not approved.
No.
We're
Approved.
financing it.
Yeah, Eli Roth can make it. It'll be like a Hostel movie. We'll show the dog chew the baby's face off for sure. That's got to go in there. It's
Can
presupposed
it be like
in the movie.
a dream sequence, but they almost kill the baby every time? Like this is
Nah.
what they fantasize.
Oh, the animals fantasize about
This is
killing the
their
baby.
fantasize. Yeah, and then but like every time they try to kill the baby,
They
it's
just
like-
wake up. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's how you get away with it. It's just
Yeah.
animals just dream it 5 times throughout the movie, so you don't actually kill the
trick
baby,
the audience,
but you see the
They
baby
got
get
him.
killed
Oh,
5
fuck.
times.
It was a dream.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with animals daydreaming about killing human babies. I mean,
And it
Right.
makes sense. It makes sense. It's what
Well,
animals
after-
daydream about.
the afterwards, the cut scene would always be like to them waking up, like they fart so loud it wakes them up, and they jump up and they're alert, and that way, oh, it's just a dream sequence, but they're all dreaming about killing that baby.
or they
But
hear
I
the
just-
snack bag crinkling. They hear the snack bag crinkling. That wakes you up from your dream of killing your owner's baby.
Baby.
Feed me, satiate the beast, bitch.
You know what's better than a fucking dental stick would be that
Oh,
fucking
oh.
baby.
You know what'd be more hilarious? So the mouse is, I don't know why I'm thinking of a mouse, but a mouse is thinking about killing the baby. And then what wakes him up from the night or the dream is like a fucking owl. He grabs
Or then you gotta punish
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
one who's dreaming about killing the baby.
you
It's
gotta
like
punish and
it's like a
more hilarious.
psychological pillow for the humans
Yeah.
watching.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the same reason they used to kill the slutty girl and all the horror
And,
movies.
and he just screams just bloody, crazy shit while he's like being attacked by this owl.
No, I think killing a baby is the best way to go.
Listen, I want a
I
line
could
for
see
line
animals daydreaming about killing babies. I could see it.
recreation of Birth of a Nation, the Nat Turner story, but done in an adorable Milo and Stitch retelling from the dog's perspective, and just have the dogs with adorable dog slave accents, and it's just It's a complete retelling of the story of
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I can't lie, I got a little hard when it was just going through my mind, and I wasn't going out of my way. This is where I end up. I'll tell you the origin story, point in a second here, but that's where my mind took me. And sometimes I just feel bad. I feel bad that I have a thought, and then I just start getting these images in my head. And I'm like, you know what? I know this is terrible, but this would make me laugh. This is so terrible, but I find it funny, and I can't lie. And as I was on this little tour, I came up with another one. Because if we're gonna be offensive, because we've learned, if Kanye's taught us anything, there's an endless competition about who deserves more sympathy, the Jews or the Rogans. Who deserves it? Who is higher up? Who's truly in charge of the intersectionality shell game? And so I had to go Holocaust. I had to do it. But here's how we redo Schindler's List with adorable babies. And the babies, there's no real dialogue. Like you don't animate them, right? You just have them with their goo-goos and gagas, and it's all in subtitles. So you write out the terrible things that they're saying to each other. And like when you go to the concentration camps, it's makeshift. It's like playpen walls. The little babies behind the playpen walls. You got a little adorable Hitler. You have him, the little Hugo Boss, and you do like Schindler's List, but with the subtitles. And you shoot it with all of these, like the infant football league style, where you just kind of let the babies go, what is it? Improvise, it's full on improv.
So it's little Schindler's List, like written with crayon.
Oh shit!
Little Schindler's List.
Little Schindler's.
That sounds like a good restaurant.
It's like one of those old, like 3 Men and a Baby, and Look Who's Talking, like those old baby movies they used to have. Yeah, Little Schindler's List. It's all written in crayon. One of the letters is backwards. The R is backwards.
Greatest daycare in the Tri-County area.
Oh, that's terrible, bro.
It's so bad.
Absolutely
but I see
terrible.
in my head, and it makes me smile. And I don't. If that makes me a bad person, I'm sorry. I'm a bad person.
Listen, they made Jojo Rabbit, and they made Hitler look cute. So.
Oh, dude, Lil Schindler's is that is great. Lil Schindler's, and a shot for shot recreation with all
Somebody
kitty
turn the
props,
oven off,
like
please.
they drive in their little kitty cars. You know what I mean? Like you put them in the big wheel thing, and you just kind of, somebody's off camera making it go, and their heads are just bobbling while they're riding in the little car.
Gosh,
I mean,
dude.
that would,
Schindler's List with babies.
if I got 100, I'd have to have 100 million in the bank. I'd have to have the compound running, and I'd have to make sure like it's improving the lives of people. Like there have to be a lot of evidence of fiscal responsibility and the money actually working to change people's lives. I would take $1 million and make sure that I would pay the babies well. I would do it under budget, but I would absolutely finance it myself and make it happen. I want to see that movie.
I feel like the thing we need to get out in front of the earliest is going to be to figure out where we can get a lot of yards of infant safe barbed wire. Like who makes faux barbed wire in a way that we could like cordon all the babies
Rugrats
off.
Thing.
No, we're gonna use the
fence.
playpen.
Which is all playpens.
Baby safe and baby themed. So the barbed wire fencing from the concentration camps, it's just a playpen.
It could just be like crocheted
like
barbed
in
wire.
Rugrats?
Yeah.
Remember Rugrats? When they had the little like half circle on the wall?
Hell yeah, dude. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. That'd be awesome. I love it. Lil Schindler's List. And Milo and Otis dreaming about killing the children of their master. I can't find a single thing wrong with either one of those. Those both
I'll
need
watch
to be
it.
made immediately. I'd watch them both. I'd watch them
watch it.
both in the same night.
I'm not ashamed of it at all.
Yeah,
maybe
not even
we
a little
could-
bit.
Maybe we could call it Turner and Nat.
Turner
it's-
and Nat.
And it's
You gotta
it's
save.
like
you gotta
Milo
save.
and
You
Otis.
gotta save that
Oh
one for the
my
next doggy movie.
But that's the
Turner
Dog
name
and
of
and
cat.
the
Nat.
Turner and Nat is the dog and cat movie.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
no,
the-
but
yeah.
absolutely. But it's the retelling of the Nat Turner story through dogs.
Turner and Nat. That shit is. I don't. Somebody ain't gonna like that. Somebody somewhere
As long as it's the
is
you
going
know,
to get upset about
you know,
that. But I like it. I
Kanye
love
is
it.
talking about.
Wait a minute, but who's upset about it though?
Who cares at this
No,
point?
no, 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 no. But let's kind of let's do like an FBI profiling exercise.
Right? Who is this
Who
person?
right? Who is upset at adorable little dogs? And first of all, it's a movie. So in any event, like we all know, it's not real, right? But it's based on real events, but told through the narration of dog thoughts. A la, I mean, I guess that's got to be a name of a certain kind of cinema when the animals are narrated. I'm sure if you're into that sort of thing, there's a name for it. Oh yeah, you're doing a Milo and Otis pick. I totally got it. And but you do it with the Nat Turner. I mean, first of all,
You know where
those
it goes bad? I'm sorry to cut you off,
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm thinking about this. Where it goes bad is that Milo and Otis, like, you know, they were just out on an adventure. They're doing their thing. If you're going to retell, this is going to be Turner and Nat. You're going to retell the Nat Turner story. The entire struggle has to just be in the minds of two animals living a great life. They're just sleeping in the house and getting fed, and they're like, we got to chew this baby's face off. Like, they have no reason to
So
be
they
upset.
dream about being
Change
oppressed.
on that baby
Yeah,
face.
they have no reason to be upset. They're just
Oh,
lamenting
shit.
their lives as pets that live in the house and sleep warm. And
That's genius. That's
Yeah.
just genius. I'm gonna tell you how we get away with it. The two dogs are out in the living room and they fall asleep while the Nat Turner movie is on,
oh shit!
and then they put themselves in those shoes, and then they think about how shitty their lives are relative to their masters, and how they take care of us, but this is a fucked up situation. Like
I think you
we
got the
we need
start
our
of,
freedom.
You got a good ending there.
This is perfect. This is like one of those ads you would see, or one of the front of those fucked up newspapers when you go to the grocery store. It's like Negro propaganda movies. Hypnotized my dog. And my dog tried to kill me. He fell asleep watching Nat Turner, and my dog tried to kill me in the middle of the night.
Dude, didn't they end up hanging Nat Turner? Isn't that how that ended?
And I'm pretty sure they hung him.
Pretty sure they hung
cut
So look,
his body
as soon
parts
as you
into
sh-
pieces, and William Wallace
and
his
sold
ass.
it.
Well,
and-
we're not going that far. As soon as you see the news go around the dog's neck, they wake up.
No, what happens
That's
is
the ending.
a Chinese guy comes and gets the dog in a kennel, in a cage. You put the dog in a cage and we sell him to a Chinese guy. And then you have to let your bigotry put the rest of the puzzle together. Like, is this guy going to take this dog and give him a great life at an
That's what you
open air
think,
shelter?
buddy.
Or is something
Or-
bad going to happen? Either way, who cares, right? What's the difference between a dog and a chicken? Not much.
I don't know. I want to stay true to the material. If they hung him afterwards, I feel like I'm betraying the source material.
Let a
If-
Chinese person hang the
If
dog.
Nat is taken away by a Chinese person.
Let like a Chinese person have a
No.
little leash.
Oh,
or
with
The
chef
white
hat
people
on.
were the
He's the
most
one that puts
dangerous. The white people were the most dangerous to Nat Turner. So
Oh,
he
that's
was
true,
taken
that's
by the
true.
white people. The Chinese man would be the most dangerous to the dog.
Or you could have, or you could have like the white person
Oh
holding the
shit!
dog,
Wait a minute.
and he's
Wait
like
a
there's
minute.
a Chinese person next to him.
No, you gave it a whole nother dimension. See, this is why I had to bring this before you two brilliant gentlemen. The slave masters, they're in a Chinese restaurant. That's where all of this oppression is going on.
Oh, good
That's
God.
what. See, you think it's in a house like a slave master style, and I think we still have it like that. Like we make a hybrid between like a traditional like colonial plantation house and like a Chinese pagoda. Like it's somewhere in the middle.
That's amazing.
Right. And so it's them at this Chinese restaurant / plantation where we retell the story of Nat Turner through the lives of these two dogs, or through the dream of these two dogs, because they are eating that baby, and we
They're
have
definitely
to
eating that
It's
baby.
the dream.
Several times throughout the course of this film, they are going to eat that baby for sure. One time they're gonna start at the feet, one time they're gonna start at the head. Like, yeah, we're gonna exercise a few different ways. That's the only way to get away with showing a dog or a cat kill a baby multiple times in one movie, is it has to be the
Just a
dream
dream.
of the animal. That's the
then
only way you can do it.
And then it's dreams within dreams, and then I mean it's the biggest writing cheat I guess there is, and people
Hey.
really hate it. And who gives a fuck?
Who
It's
cares?
just listen. It's a poorly thrown together premise in order to show these images, which I find are funny. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be well written and make sense.
It works. When's the last time we had a legit Milo and Otis type movie, just from the point of view of two pets, just with their own thoughts, and it's
Bring
going to
it
be
back.
dark and
Fiending for
grisly?
it.
Oh
Bring it
gosh.
back.
They're hungry for it. The public is hungry for it. They'll take anything over the next fucking Marvel movie or the next reboot. They need some new material. And I think
Yeah, there's no new material in Hollywood. It's really stale right now.
no, they
I will
need these
say,
ideas.
I will say, Bullet Train was pretty good.
I haven't seen that. I watched a couple. I watched Hellraiser, which is not a new idea. Ironically, like exactly what we're talking about.
They did a
Reboot,
good
yeah.
job though with the
Hellraiser
movie. I
was
did
done
like
well. I
Hellraiser.
liked it.
I
It was
never
dope.
actually like saw it as a kid because I was like too scared of it because like what's his name, Needleface,
Oh, yeah, Pinhead.
Pinhead.
Pinhead. Yeah, I was always scared as a kid, but I knew of it. But this was actually like my first time actually watching it, like beginning to end and learning about it. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
Is
I dug
back
it.
during the Freddy times.
I thought it was fire, bro. I watched.
And I went to a deep dive, and they went to space before they made this one.
Oh yeah, they did. Yep, they
Yeah.
definitely went to space. But I think I loved Hellraiser growing up. I thought it was definitely one of the dopest horror. Like the first one and the second one is the only ones I really got into. The third one came out, and by the time the third one came out, they were doing that thing where the only thing that matters is fitting in as much pop culture as you can. It was
Yeah.
like a scary movie before they made Scary Movie. I'm telling you, the third Hellraiser movie, they had one of the Cenobites, the demons that come torture you. One of those motherfuckers was shooting CDs out of his mouth. The other one had like a camcorder in his head. It was like all this 90s shit, like almost 2000. It was like, let's make all the Cenobites just like technology gone wrong. Like once one of your monsters from hell starts spitting CDs, it's pretty much over, dude.
Yeah, the intellectual property is run its course.
They killed it in space. Once they go to space, you can't go no further. I don't
Yeah.
know how Fast and Furious is doing it. They're breaking the record apparently, but once they go to space,
Yeah, Hellraiser was dope. I definitely dug it. But there's not a lot of new stuff happening right now. Most people are going for nostalgia's paying big money right now. Remakes, all kinds of redos, reboots. If it's not nostalgia, it's full of the politics that most people are trying to escape from. Everybody's
Yeah.
trying to get away from the shit, but they're like, nah, son.
it's the season. all
Nah,
over
there's
the
some
place.
non-binary, trans, lesbian, whatever up in this show, and you're gonna have to deal with how you feel about it. And if it makes you wobbly in your guts in any way, that means you're a bigot, and you probably need to lose your fucking PayPal. But who knows? That's what everybody's been talking about.
Well,
She-Hulk
not
is
lose your
terrible.
PayPal. You should be fined $2,500.
Oh, right, that's right. At least you didn't lose it. But they'll fine you $2,500 for saying things that they don't agree with. And to be fair, the word they used was misinformation. But I don't know who's the authority on what information is true, when it's true. What if you say it too early and they don't know it's true yet, so they fine you $2,500 and then it turns out to be true? Do you get your money back? Like what? How are we navigating fining people for saying things?
Nah, you know what that is they were like, we're to the point that we've monopolized the control of this internet. We've been able to get rid of so many people who turned out to be right later on, but doesn't matter. We've ruined their accounts, taken away the financial freedom that they had created by building a audience and whatnot on these platforms. And they basically said, hey, we feel that our dick is so swinging in this realm and we have so much control that we're basically gonna hold you. This is basically ransom money. Like, we won't cancel you, but as long as you got enough money in there, you're gonna pay $2,500 a pop to make sure that we keep you in line. Like, if you don't got at least $2,500 in your PayPal, they're like, you're not even worth canceling. So it's just we're gonna end your account.
Yeah.
But if you got money, they're gonna be like,
we're
cool.
gonna hit them pockets,
You
baby.
can afford to pay it. Yeah, say what you want, but we get $2,500 a pop. And
This
look,
is what
as-
cancel culture is doing.
well, look, as a PayPal investor, I wouldn't be mad at it. As a person that likes the idea of free speech and hates that these companies are so oppressive and censorial, it fucking hurts my soul. But it's like, if you're a PayPal stockholder, you're kind of like, this is some criminal shit, but it would definitely make the company more profitable. That they could basically extort $2,500 from anybody that has it in their account over any kind of bullshit that's put out on social media that's narrative driven. You're going against the media narrative. Oh, $2,500.
Well,
You
they
got
could just
something
make them
else to say?
pay a fine like they do like NFL
That's what
players.
they're doing.
Yeah,
But
$2,500.
When is
That's what they're doing currently.
That's what they.
do.
Yeah.
I'm not in Twitter. I'm not in Twitter. I removed myself from that. I was never on the wave with that. I left Facebook a long time ago. I got Instagram. That's it. YouTube. That's it. So I'm not like hip to Twitter and all that shit. But like that's what they're doing now to find people. Like they're finding people for like breaking like whatever rules that they have set up.
What they said is that they were floating some rules around. It was some new shit that was coming down the pipeline, and it got published from inside of whoever was working wherever. But that's they put some information out, and then PayPal didn't say anything about it until it hit the internet and people started going nuts. And then they were like, actually, no, we were just experimenting with some possibility. So they kind of rolled it back a little bit. But this is the type of shit that's in the air right now. They haven't actively done it or find anybody. They'll definitely block you from using PayPal, but they haven't find anybody for misinformation, quote unquote misinformation yet. But they're talking about doing it. So I guess they test the waters with that kind of shit. They let it leak, see what the public says. Like you said, shareholders will love it. Shareholders are like, yeah, find those motherfuckers, because most of those people are rich enough to keep their mouth shut. If they see something they don't like, they'll just go put some money down.
Or don't believe enough in anything that they'd be willing to lose money over it.
Right. And if it's something that they really don't like, they'll just put some money on the lobbyists. Put some bread on it. Put some bread to work for you. You know what I'm saying? That's what they'll do. They won't be on the internet like, oh, this particular race of people owns the media. That's probably not what you should be doing if you got a lot of money to lose. Or talking about COVID and shit. Like, what is it that you're so upset about that you can't come to your own conclusion and just have that? Like that should give you your power, right? You say, you know what? These people are lying. This disease doesn't exist. I'm going to go eat some popcorn. But to get online and attach it to your face, your business, your social media and all this other shit, whatever terms of service that you clicked on that you didn't read when you scrolled all the way down to the bottom and just click yes, I guarantee you everything in there was very cleverly written to make sure that if you say something we don't like on this platform, we're gonna fucking kick you out. We're gonna, it's over for you, B. And that's just what it is. I don't feel too too Orwellian. Exactly. It's not too much Orwellian shit going on with this. They do what they want to do. If you have your own website, well, truthfully, nowadays you would probably need a blockchain web address to stop yourself from because if you're using somebody,
yeah, they're going to take you off your
GoDaddy,
servers.
yeah, they're going to kick you in the balls again. You're like, nah, you can't be talking that shit over here. But if you pay for everything, you put your own money down from top to bottom, you can put out a website, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Where it's going to land, it might be on page 84 of the Google search results. But people who really want to find you, I guess, they'll find you. That's just it. You clicked it. You clicked the terms of service. You can't be talking that crazy shit. Unless, it depends. Because some people, you can go on a lot of these websites and you can call white folks mayo monkeys and
chalk demons,
snow roaches, all kinds of shit.
Don't say cracker now.
Yeah, you can say that too. You can say that too.
No, you can't say it in a Twitch. You'll get banned.
Oh, in Twitch?
Say what in Twitch?
Cracker, you get suspended.
Well, Twitch is weird. Twitch is weird. I heard they banned somebody for saying that Twitch is racist against certain.
Well, niggas are taking over, so Twitch will be flipped upside down.
That's what it said. It was a black dude who was saying that Twitch was racist against black creators, and they banned his account. Well, there was another woman who basically showed her box on Twitter, on Twitch, and they banned her for like 5 days or so, 3 days or something like that.
Let me tell you something, the dark tunnel of Twitter, bro. There's women down there who will tell you they'll have a whole stream of them inside of a plastic tub in a bikini, just talking. And there's simps out there just throwing money at them. Right? Yeah. And then I can't show my dick.
Well, not to children and out in public.
But she can do that.
But she's got a bikini on though.
Like, come on, man.
I'm sure you could wear a bikini if you wanted, though.
No, you could do all that. Like I try to pimp girls, not pimp, but I try to tell girls they could go to the Twitch world. No, I'm saying if you're gonna make some money, bro, and play some video games, just put your titties out and play video games. People are gonna be, oh, it's a girl playing video games. And if you're like funny and talk too much, it's an easy way to make money if you have that type of character in you. But I will say that like that streaming community is a very weird streaming community. Like I know back in the day when they had Mixer, there was like a bunch of rapists. It was a bunch of rapists.
Oh yeah, that just happened recently. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's going on with Twitch too. Like all these people are a bunch of weirdos. So it's all these weirdo people who's already
incel gamers who've just been thrust into notoriety.
So there's a new hustle going on right now in nigga world. So like everybody's going to Twitch and YouTube.
Where
and just,
exactly is
Copyright
nigger
pending.
world? Nigger world, right? I want to dig down into that. Let's not
listen,
let that
so,
slide
but you
by.
know, like the Hassan Campbell type of styles.
Oh,
You know what I'm
Thug
saying?
Gossip
Like,
is located
Thug
in
Go-
nigger
you know what I'm
world.
saying? I
Okay.
don't, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Thug Gossipy, all that stuff.
Thug
So like,
Gossipville is
so
in nigger
yeah,
world.
so they're stretching over to Twitch. So now the popularity's flipping over. So
It's
they
the new
have to bow
Clubhouse,
down.
is what you're saying.
Basically, well, Clubhouse is kind of like bullshit, but yeah, basically.
So
Well-
basically, Twitch. There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, basically. But it's gonna help them out.
Property
They're not gonna
values
say
plummet.
they're not gonna say no. But they're not gonna say no. They're not
Well,
gonna say no.
I mean, no matter what, like what you got to look at this as, because the reins have been getting tightened and tightened, and the internet used to be a free for all, and now it's become more authoritarian than real life. And basically, like for all of the years that we've kind of been told, and I understand where it's coming from, about the evils of communism and the virtues of capitalism. Like we know what authoritarianism looks like under communism. Like this is what authoritarianism looks like under capitalism. Like you're basically getting the same result. Like when you come up to where a private company, hey, it's not the government would never censor you. That's illegal in America. Even though there's proof now that the government was reaching out to Facebook and Twitter like, hey, cut that shit off.
America
cut that
does
shit
a-
off now.
Very good job with censorship.
Well, because we do it in a very slick way, because we know, and anybody you talk to in the military knows, talk to them, ask them, there's so many fucking contractors. And then this really like cool loophole presents itself. Like I work for the government, but I'm not really the government. You know, the government regulates them, but they're a private company. They can do whatever they want. Oh, you snitch on the government? Yo, the government's doing evil shit. You need to check them out, B. And then, oh, you get whistleblower protection if you work for the government. See, but you're a contractor.
That's death penalty too, the whistleblower, isn't it?
Well,
That's
no,
espionage.
you're supposed to be protected if you're a whistleblower. If you're snitching on the government, let's say, I mean, just, I'm pulling this out of thin air. Let's say the government had a fuck kids island, right? And they just had an island where they'd fly people out and
Epstein.
they'd fuck kids. No, I don't know about that. Who knows what that was? Who knows what happened? Nobody even knows who was on the planes.
Right.
The black book has disappeared. We don't know. But let's just say, for
Giselle is not
argument's sake,
talking.
there was a pleasure island of kid fucking, and the government ran it and said, here, you want to fuck kids? Come fuck kids and help us to blackmail for a better world. Let's say that was going on, and you were a person of conscience, and you stepped up and said, listen, I'm seeing a lot of kids get fucked on this island. I think this is evil and corrupt, and the American people should know about it. If you actually worked for the government, you get whistleblower protection. They'd have to protect you. If you were a contractor, none of those protections apply to you, and you're right. They can do it like what they did to Snowden. You are a whistleblower versus you are a traitor. You are a traitor, even though it's people with access to the same information who morally would be standing up for the same reason. If you're a contractor, you don't get those protections. So what contractor in their right mind who knows, hey, if I tell the American people the truth, I'm gonna have to go live in Russia, or they're gonna do me like Julian Assange and I'll be stuck at an embassy. That was some mafioso gangster shit. To be like, look, everybody better shut the fuck up. Nobody saw nothing. You hear me? Nobody saw nothing. You want to start telling on us like Snowden told on us? Okay, cool. You're always gonna be looking over your shoulder.
Zach,
You
Good
learn
luck
that from
getting
the
out of the
mafia,
country.
bro. They
Zach.
It's
perfected the
absolutely
mafia.
some mafia.
I need you to
thugged
close
out
that
shit.
little door when you close the chicken
So
tonight,
we
please.
say, oh, we're not evil like Russia.
You should be able
We're
to close it
good.
from the
We're
outside. You just gotta
capitalists.
wiggle
They're
it a little
communists.
bit.
They're authoritarian. Look how their government abuses its citizen. Well, look how the fuck our government abuses our citizens under the guise of the free market. You know, like, hey, we'll throw you in a gulag. I think you're going to get just as much conformity if you give private companies the fucking power to fine somebody $2,500 because you don't like their opinion. That's some thugged out. That's authoritarian capitalism. We're
You're not
giving-
allowed to start your own company to just do whatever you want.
Well, you can, but like
But
Dom
it can't
said,
be
Look what happened. I think it was Gab or Parler, whoever.
Like Trump did.
Right, and once
you think Kanye's gonna go on Trump's app, boy? You think he'll bring people over?
I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but I know that they wrote the rules that if it's a private company, if you don't like it, but they so have the infrastructure owned that even if you follow their rules, and I think it was Parler showed, hey, we followed the rules. We're on our own platform. Twitter doesn't want us, cool. And then the powers that be was like, yeah, but we own the servers. And so Amazon is like, we're pulling the plug. So you have to own infrastructure on par with Amazon. You know what I mean? How many startup companies could do that? So in some way or another, you're going to have to rely on infrastructure that is going to be hard to convince somebody to part with billions of dollars to make a competitor to.
Okay, I'll take it. America, you win. I don't know China's option at all.
Well, I don't know. It's ugly, but like
I know
you said,
there's a lot of Russian suicides lately. Billionaire suicides.
I don't know about.
That's what they call them.
The official report.
That's what they call them.
Like Hillary Clinton suicides.
Yeah,
He
those
shot
types.
himself twice in the woods.
Twice.
In the back of the head.
In the back of the head.
It must be suicide.
While
didn't
he was
see it
wearing
coming.
handcuffs.
You didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming.
You could put that story on Fox News right now, and people would eat it. They'd eat it right up. Yep, this guy who was going to testify against the Clintons shot himself twice in the back of the head while handcuffed and zip tied in the middle of the forest. They'd be like, "Yeah."
Old girl changed to Republican. I forgot her name.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, I don't think she changed to a Republican.
She's basically independent, but she made an announcement. She's like, "Fuck Democrats."
No. But I think she is just being an honest, sane person. I think most people who are Democrats are no longer Democrats now. I don't believe none of this shit.
Yeah, I think what's his name, Bernie Sanders, showed the division and the bullshit to me about the Democrats.
Oh, when they did them dirty?
Yeah, as far as picking what's really right and then what you want what's really right, I'm like, okay, this is all bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, not that I didn't know, but it's like now I have proof now. It's over with. Like, you can't say nothing to me. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, listen. We had the right idea when we were kids, and
Clinton and Al Gore. We knew it right then and there.
We inherited the default black consciousness of don't trust anything these motherfuckers say. And at certain points, you're like, well, maybe that's a little harsh. Let me actually start paying attention and see if that assumption is valid. And I can't tell you how many times I'm like, I've gone through all of this reading and thinking and changing my mind and my opinion just to come back to some shit I already knew and understood as a child. I'm not betraying my gut anymore. I'm going with my gut.
I took a summer school class about government, and keep in mind, I used to go to school McEpps because I just didn't give a fuck. So I would go to summer school every year, for a long ass time. I took a government class, and niggas were cheating on me because I would answer all questions. But I think I was because my stepdad used to put the news 24/7. So I think subconsciously I just knew all the answers for the bullshit the teacher was teaching. It was the weirdest shit. It was the weirdest shit.
Yeah, I don't fuck with it. I can't. I've never really fucked with it.
Yeah,
but I didn't fuck with it before I was smart enough really to know why. I didn't even have an excuse when I was younger. It was just, I'm a kid. This shit is boring. But the older I got and the more I learned, the more it's just reinforced the idea why I don't fuck with it. I get the curiosity, but
yeah, it's just interesting to learn how the government works. You know what I mean? But the bullshit, the truth behind it is
it works the same way as the mafia, basically. Just
right.
with,
I think it's more interesting to speculate on
when there was a king, queens. It's all authoritarian bullshit. It's the people thinking there's some invisible force field governance taking care of everything, but
what we learn is what we're told as far as how the government works.
Oh yeah.
I like to speculate on how the government really works because I just think that's more accurate. Yeah. I like to speculate on how it really works because how we're told that it works, hey, we live in a democracy where nobody gets what they want.
You can
none of But listen, nobody gets what they want. None of the problems get solved. More and more wealth gets condensed into the hands of fewer and fewer people, and they all happen to either be in government or closely connected to government. So this is not how it's supposed to go. So a lot of the ideals that we get sold, like, they sound really good on paper, and I understand why they give people patriot boners, and you get all patriotic. You're like, yeah, you know, it's
Patriot
great.
boners. We gotta make a skit. Patriot boners. Mark that down.
But once it, I think that's Salty Cracker. I can't take credit for that. His community came up with the term Patriot Boner. That is
I got a Vietnam skit that will go gold.
I can't help it. It's a Patriot Boner. I love America. The way that it really works is in practice, like in theory and on paper, but how it actually plays out. Like I said, why are you trying to sell me on the virtues of capitalism and the evils of communism when it's like, basically, if you let this shit play out long enough, we basically get the same shit. Like, Russia's evil because how they came up with their oligarchy. Well, we kind of have an oligarchy too. And like, is it more righteous because it was made by this fucking partnership between business and government? So we had a different legal framework in which to get all the money to the criminals. Like, that makes it more virtuous than the legal framework for how, you know, the Russians did it. Like, I don't know. I'm not completely sold.
We just were better, and we were able to sell capitalism better than the Russians. We're just better salesmen.
It's called "Fuck You, Hooray for Me."
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And plus we had the whole South America. While like everybody's worried about Russia, America fucking the CIA all, you know, fucked up the whole South America. So as far as like
you know what,
building a country and gathering resources, like they had so much time to do it.
I used to give a fuck about that, and then I saw how a lot of South America ran themselves when they were left to their own devices, and I gotta say, I'm not impressed.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
I kind of agree with the CIA at this point. Like, look, these motherfuckers don't know what to do with this fruit money. Fuck it. Let's just get in here. Let's get our beaks wet. Cause like, look what happened with Venezuela. Like, okay, cool. Fuck the U.S. Yep, it's all on you. Run the show. Let's put all of our money in oil. Like, don't you think we should maybe diversify our portfolio? The fuck you say? Yeah. Disappear his family.
And you would think they learned from Saudi Arabia. Like, you had an example. And like, you have the whole Caribbean island to provide gas to. I don't know, bro. That was a bad move, but hey.
Well, what they did was they put all their, you know, they definitely did.
Yeah, he put all his money. They put all their money in the oil, and they pocketed basically all of it. All he did.
But then oil tanked. The price of oil, you remember, at one point it was like negative $20. Like, they'd pay you $20 to take some oil.
How does that get negative? How?
Because
of Saudi Arabia?
Because nobody could take the oil. So when these supply chains are set up, right? We make it so that these products get to market, and they estimate. They know these are you know, perpetual bean counters. Like, they're OCD level shit. They know exactly what area is going to need how much, and all of these banks that oversee it, they account for these sorts of things, and there's an expected pipeline of goods and services that are going all around the world at any given time. So you shut down the whole world, nobody's moving, all of a sudden you're using a lot less oil. But you didn't go to all the oil producers and say, hey, stop digging this shit out of the ground. So they get all this oil, and there's like, for the first time in a long time, nobody needs or wants this oil. So that made the price plummet because there wasn't enough buyers. So and that, you could argue, was even controlled because, you know, look how crazy they were on these lockdowns about nobody can do shit, and how all of a sudden nothing has changed. The vaccine came out. The vaccine doesn't work. Now we know for sure the vaccine doesn't work. And all of these people, fuck you PayPal, that were going out and saying the vaccine would absolutely work, none of them have been canceled. None of them have been taken off. Like, they gave misinformation. From Pfizer themselves. They gave misinformation that this shit'll work. But the people who said, nope, it doesn't work, they were canceled and have not been reinstated, but they turned out to be right. So now we know there was absolutely no reason to shut fucking everything down, especially for as long as we did, But look how uniform everybody acted in concert. Look at those videos of them sending fucking armed goons to houses in Britain, in Australia. You know, some of the crazy shit you saw in Europe. Like, I think they had a shootout with farmers. Like, they were on some crazy shit. Ever since this COVID shit came along, like, it's been an absolute justification for in any other world, we would call all of that shit Nazi shit. Show me your papers, please. Where's your vaccine passport? Show me your papers, please. We have a curfew. Show me your papers, please. You can't leave the house. You can't go to work. This is only for...
Man, traffic was beautiful. I started to go to work.
It was.
COVID. I started to go to work. Traffic was fucking beautiful. Monday to Friday.
It was lovely driving when you had to leave the house during that time.
For the people who have to do things for real in the world.
But listen, all that does is show you why the fuck we need intentional communities and be out in the middle of nowhere. There ain't gonna be no traffic on the compound.
Right.
Let people have let the Babylonian Nosferatu have their mouse utopias. You can have them. It's yours. It's absolutely yours. No one's gonna fight you for it.
Hey,
yeah, it's all fuckery.
Exactly.
I don't trust none of them.
It's all fuckery, no matter which direction you approach it from. I still haven't heard anybody explain to me a realistic, practical path to fixing whatever problems it is that they identify in the government from either side. Whatever problem you identify, I don't hear anybody with practical ways to approach solving the root cause of the problem. Most people won't even admit what the root cause of the problem is. They just blame it on the other side or some specific group of people. If rich people didn't do this, if poor people didn't do that, if black people would just, if white people would just, if illegal immigrants would just, and it's just all, it's garbage. I don't hear any real solution-based thinking. Everybody seems to just be like, well, let's just ride it till the wheels fall off and we'll just take turns being red and blue on the way there. Like, it's like when you got two kids in the back of the car on a long road trip. All right, you get the radio for the first half of the road trip. You get the radio for the next half. And that's just how the compromise that you have to make. The car's not changing directions. No matter who has the aux cord, neither one of you are changing the destination of the car. You're in the back seat arguing over whose playlist is better.
And that's where the juice conspiracies come from. Is it possible that people are not acting on behalf of the nation's interest, but that nations are just a vehicle to amass wealth? And when a nation falls apart, people with wealth move on to the next nation. And people say, oh, that's some conspiracy theory shit, but then we'll reaffirm every part of it. Yes, there's a great reset. We're going to reset the whole economy. That's absolutely real. The replacement theory is absolute conspiracy theory. Then in the last 20 years, there's 700 billion articles about we can't wait till white people are the minority in America, but it's just a conspiracy. And if nobody's solving any of the problems, but all the politicians that are asking you for the vote are saying, hey, elect me, we'll solve the problem. The only problem that gets fixed is how are they going to afford their next fucking yacht or vacation home? I mean, even Bernie Sanders' socialist ass has multiple fucking houses. So how seriously can you really take these people? You're absolutely right. Listen, we are beating the brakes off this bitch. We are riding it till the wheels fall off, and we will take turns. Like, eventually we're going to fuck this prostitute to death. Whoever's holding hot potatoes, so be it. But no reason we should slow down at this point. And they've already said, hey, once this shit falls apart, people are already eyeing, India, China. And there's articles all over if you look, but we don't look at it because we're not rich fucks. So we think, oh, well, this isn't for me. I'm not a billionaire. I can't afford to move anywhere. But if there's certain shit being reported like that, what do you think that signals to you? That rich people are already saying, like, and there's a lot that have already moved to China, that have moved out of the United States.
Fuck that. I'm taking this to the wheels fall off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if somebody comes up and then you want to say it's not a conspiracy, look, if it's not, how the fuck are you gonna call Kanye West a conspiracy theorist? Oh, look, we're not gonna air his shit. He's got some really awful things. Listen, you know what this racist motherfucker said? You know what racist ass, anti-Semitic, Jew hating shit that Kanye West said? He said that Jewish people exercise too much power. So you
Is
know
that what
we're
got
gonna-
him banned? Is that what got him banned?
It's what he. This is the thing that can get you fucked up. Is if you allude to the fact that Jewish people coordinate with one another to get shit done. If you hint at that in any way, even in the slightest, that's on par with you're a Nazi. You're glad the Holocaust happened. And really it makes it super suspicious because it's like, well, if the
Exactly.
charge
Taking
against
food.
Jewish people is
And turn the light on in the
and
kitchen.
like this is like straight from the Hitlerian dogma, right? Jewish people don't care about the country that they live in. They take what they want from it. They extort, they do their little Jew games. This isn't me saying this, just to be clear. But and they run
This
off
is
with
Hitler.
all they
Different
run off
voice.
with all the money, and they don't have a loyalty to the state. Their loyalty is to themselves and to Israel. So if they live in your country, they don't really care about what's going on your shit.
That's what he said to the Germans.
Hold on now. So when Kanye says, I think Jared Kushner just did this peace shit because he only cares about his businesses and making money, he knew exactly what the fuck he was saying and how it would be interpreted. Ask Professor Griff, any black dude in hip hop that's had an extreme opinion that may even hint to Jews, they understand very carefully what the implication is or how. Nobody gave Nick Cannon the memo apparently, but most people like Kanye knew, and that's why he asked, is that too heavy-handed for this platform? And Tucker Carlson was like, no, we're not going to censor you. But yeah, the implication is Jared Kushner cares more about his business interest than he cares about the country's interests, right?
So they just Jew flipped it.
So
Well, he also
if-
said he was going to go DEFCON 3
on the Jews.
on the Jews. Well,
Which-
just to be fair, the
Doesn't
definition
DEFCON-
of DEFCON 3 means an increase of force readiness above normal readiness. So
There you
DEFCON
go.
3 is still defensive. It's not like, all right, we got to go nuke those guys. It's like, let's just be prepared. Like, and honestly, you could probably say that if you were going on a trip to Chicago, you could say I'm going to be on DEFCON 3 while I'm in Chicago.
It would actually be the smartest
We
thing
just
you
need
could
to
do
give
if you-
Kanye some land.
He can buy
Kanye's
it. We don't have
already
to give
got
him
land.
nothing.
He owns Wyoming.
There you go.
But somebody
Not
needs to
giving him any
whisper-
land. He needs to give us money so we can get our land.
Somebody needs to whisper in Kanye's ear, just be like, "Have niggas move in your land." And I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know.
Kanye said that
I don't know. I don't know.
he said that supporting Lizzo's body positivity is demonic.
Yeah, man, I see it. But
So
that's
hold
a
on.
different subject.
Well, hold on. So let's take a look at this real quick. So he was saying that that is objectively unhealthy and promoting that image is demonic. That was his opinion. So I got a little piece of it right here ready, just so you can hear what he says about that, and then a little into Planned Parenthood and shit. So just hold on. Let me make sure everybody can hear this because it's important. This guy's talking a lot of shit that's getting different emotional invocations from a lot of different directions. But I think this is clever. This is cool.
And this is being claimed under fair use, YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
Stop your
all fair
fuckery.
use.
As
Don't
long
be
as
fair
we're
use.
as long as we're talking, it's a few seconds. We're good.
Check it
Don't worry
out.
about that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
why do you think they would want to promote unhealthiness among the population?
It's a genocide of the black race. They want to kill us in any way they can. Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK, and I
All right. So I mean that's
Can I ask a question?
he's not what? What's up?
Everything he said, if we fact check it, is there truth in it?
No, yeah. Planned
I don't know if
Parenthood.
the KKK was involved with Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, I don't know if
No,
you can
but the
prove that.
lady.
Yeah,
Margaret Sanger
was
is on the
definitely-
record
Yeah.
with these black people are weeds.
They're like
Okay,
weeds.
so
Yeah.
that's not enough to say she's probably potential to be in the KKK.
Well,
So
she
it's
was
not
a
far.
eugenicist. I think she admitted being a eugenicist, which is like, a genetic racist.
You have potential to be a KKK member, correct?
Possibly.
Right? I'm just
Possibly.
saying.
But
I'm
but
just
Planned Parenthood was definitely tied to her. She had some strange opinions about race and shit like that. So I mean, we're talking about the dangers of certain behaviors. We're talking about how bad these behaviors can be for the black community, but also Kanye on his opinion on what could be dangerous to the black community.
I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck, I like my dick suck, I buy you a sick truck, I buy you some new tits, I get you that nip tuck, how you start a family, the condom slipped
I've never
up.
heard this
I'm a
song,
sick fuck, I'm
Okay, so
It's bars.
It's my
We can
first
agree it's
time
bars.
hearing.
we can
first
agree
time
it's
hearing
bars,
the song.
but if we're talking about unhealthy behavior
Oh,
and the
of course.
promotion of demonic unhealthy behavior, do you think this would be considered
But
demonic
that's
unhealthy
that's
behavior?
before he was
Absolutely.
a Christian. That's
No,
No,
it's not.
he was
No,
a
it's not.
Christian the
No.
whole time. Stop it.
No.
no, that's
No.
before
Nope.
he was a
No, this is after Jesus walks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A long
Yeah,
time. At
to
least
be-
a decade after.
To be honest, yeah, Jesus walks kind of. Yeah,
I think it's
that's a
that what?
good rebuttal.
04?
Good rebuttal.
04 is Jesus Walks?
Yes.
Look, but here's the problem with the whole thing, okay? When you say this is a line you can't cross because it's based on a stereotype, right? So you say because Jews have been accused in history, and it's what led to the Holocaust and all this other stuff, of being covetous, of being more loyal to their group than to a nation, because those things have existed, those tropes have existed in history, that doesn't mean that there's never been a person that fits that criteria. You're
Right.
telling me that there's no single Jewish person that gives more of a fuck about Israel than America? There's no Jewish person who is covetous, that's all about money and will do unethical things for money? That shit is true to all kinds of people.
Kanye's
But what-
just bad at explaining himself.
No, but what you've made it done is you've said you can never accuse this person of this. That would be like, listen, it's a negative stereotype against black people that they're involved in armed robbery. That's based off a negative stereotype about robbing liquor stores. And then you say to the police, if you ever accuse a black man of robbing somebody at gunpoint, we're going to charge you $2,500 on PayPal.
And then after you publicly accuse a black man of robbing somebody at gunpoint, you then get robbed at gunpoint by a black man.
Right. It's exactly what happens as soon as the cops get done issuing you the fine and you get that notification from PayPal, like you see the notification, you look up from your smartphone and there's a pistol in your face.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to come up off that iPhone.
Run that shit, son.
Right.
And then
that's
you
exactly
like,
what happens.
That's what
But
happens. That you
but
talk
that is
about
fair.
what they can do, the power that they have in certain sectors of society, certain sectors of business. They're like, oh, we don't have that power. Shut him down in all these sectors of society and business.
So how many people have been shut down by the juice in the last 3 months?
In the last 3 months, I can count 3 directly related to Juice Talk. One was Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate had been talking mad sideways and crazy about women and all kinds of other stuff and
flourished on the internet.
flourished, got huge. And then he did some business with Nick Fuentes, I think it is. And Nick Fuentes, irregardless of his last name, Fuentes is a patriot. I don't know if people call himself a white supremacist or a race realist,
Some of the
but
Proud Boys.
yeah, he's in that
Yeah,
area.
he's a white supremacist. He's one of those
He's
Spanish.
leader of the Groypers.
He's one of those weird Spanish white dudes, bro, that just loves white niggas.
Well,
but-
keep in mind, there's nowhere you can go where there's Spanish people and there's not white Spanish people.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying, but he's
And-
the one that refuses to believe that he has a black slave inside of his DNA. He's
Well,
one of those.
He may not. He may just be
Nah,
just be
bro, it's
straight
50,
European.
50. It's just
I don't know if you've seen him, because keep in mind when the Spaniards came over here, the
Spains
Spaniards
were
were
raping,
basically
but the Spains
Europeans.
were that's what I'm saying. They were basically like raping all the Indians and stuff.
Allegedly.
Everything.
Right. So
Listen,
I'm sure
I
some
read
levels
Christopher
made.
Columbus's book. There's no allegedly.
Allegedly.
It's-
Some of them
we weren't
we
there.
know how
What's-
hypergamy works.
What's the word I'm looking for?
It was January 6th
No.
all
What's
over
the
again
word?
in the past.
Listen. What's the word I'm looking for? When something is the crime is too far away. What's that word?
Outside the statute of
It's
limitations.
outside the statutes of limitations. So Christopher Columbus and all the Spaniards were raping everybody. But I'm just saying, like, they all came out light skinned niggas.
Well,
Because the Spains were already mixed with the Moors.
some were. It's just like in Italy.
The
with
Moors were
Sicilians.
raping the Spaniards
Some.
left and right.
Allegedly.
And Tucker Carlson called out some of the rhetoric that was coming out of Mexico, because he's like, yo, look at your country, like your elites have blonde hair and blue eyes, like get the fuck out of here, like you guys have a very clear notion about race and elitism in your country. And talk to a Puerto Rican, honestly. Puerto Ricans will tell you there's absolutely colorism. And you do have some that have blonde hair. It's rare, but it's a thing. And it just means that whatever in your lineage is, those Europeans and those Puerto Ricans and Spanish people, don't let them lie to you. They have a phrase for improving the race when you mix with some white people. When you get more European bloodline, it is a thing. It's not just so. Just because motherfuckers speak Spanish doesn't mean the same dynamics aren't at work. Yeah. But in any event, I forgot where I was going with that. The point is with the Nick Fuentes shit, he's on a no-fly list. He has been deemed by the Jewish community because he made a hilarious joke. And again, you motherfuckers do not speak for all of us. I have full-on Ashkenazi hard on in my DNA.
You're allowed.
I got my 23andMe. You motherfuckers do not speak for me. I speak for us. I'm more authentic, and I will challenge you to a Jew off whenever you want. Come out. We'll have the cook off. The milk and the flesher will be in different fridges. We'll do it. We'll
this
get that.
This is Racial-mania, bro.
Racial mania, Jew off 2023. Let's make it happen. So he made a joke where he was like, look, I mean, think about it. How could you cook 6 million gingerbread man? How many ovens would it take to bake them for? Which was a joke to say, like, I don't think there could have been that many victims of the Holocaust, right? Which is
just by logistics. He's just by logistics alone.
I'm not getting involved.
And he made the joke as a gingerbread man. So first of all, why is that even up for debate? There was 12 million total casualties, but we only say 6 million because we only count the Jews. Everybody else that was killed in the concentration camps, poof, don't matter. Our shit is more important. Our pain is more real.
Horrible.
Fuck the gypsies. Fuck the Armenians. Our pain is the only one that's real. And you'll see black people do the same shit. Like, but everybody was slaves. Yeah, but not like us. Our pain is the most. So just this fucking Olympic Herculean effort to make sure it's known that our pain is the most important and the most prominent and the most to be remembered. It's kind of suspicious already. But then you get to the point, it's like, wait a minute. Just him questioning the numbers, he didn't say it didn't happen. He said, I'm not sure about the numbers. That can't be debated, even though we've gone back and relitigated almost every historical event in history to see if we got it right the first time. But no, we can't talk about that. And take it a step further, he's not even being serious.
He's talking about cookies.
It's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. And you're telling me no Jewish people have a sense of humor? I'm pretty sure that was like our fucking trademark in America. There's a lot of us that are comedians. A lot of us really enjoy a good joke. And guess what? A lot of dark jokes. A lot of fucked up humor. A lot of fucked up humor have come from Jewish writers in writing rooms. Stop it.
Only if the joke's on the NPC Goyim. You can't be making jokes about the Jews themselves like that. We don't deal with. We ain't have
not unless
shit.
You're a Jew yourself. And
so wait a minute.
We got one.
I just want to make sure I understand. So Andrew Tate didn't even get canceled for saying anything anti-Semitic. He was adjacent to somebody who made a gingerbread Holocaust joke.
Well, they have a thing now in the bylaws or whatever of YouTube and some of the other social media shit. Is this thing called? Is it called not intervention but circumvention? Circumvention. So if you get banned from, say you got multiple accounts and one of your accounts get banned, if you go on your other account.
Now, who is this from?
This is from YouTube.
Now, wasn't Alex Jones banned from YouTube?
Yes.
And he's been on several times since.
Yeah, well, if
he's allowed to speak, and they have to speak in their terms. Like
right.
when Alex Jones is on I forgot his name, the comedian.
Tim Pool. He's been on Tim Pool's a couple times. He was, I think, with Theo Von.
Yeah, a couple comedians too, but they basically have to say like everything he's saying is a joke. He's not serious. He's just riffing basically. And he has to go into the terms, but he himself cannot have a YouTube and just talk.
Okay, so
which I think is pretty cool.
So how does? But help me understand how Andrew Tate was banned because of Nick Fuentes.
So once he had Nick Fuentes on the show, Nick, starts getting into business with they call it the JQ, which stands for the Jewish question, which is all like, should they be here, or like anything relating to the Jews as a race. So he starts talking crazy. Once he's on the show talking crazy with Andrew Tate, they go back through a bunch of Andrew Tate's old stuff and they give him strikes, right? So if you get 3 strikes in a row, if you get 3 strikes that are all not dealt with all at the same. So if you get one and then it goes, you take care of it, you get another one, takes care of it, it doesn't all count at the same time. But if you get 3 strikes in a row, they can delete your entire channel. So they went back through his channel and started sniping him for old shit, found 3 strikes, and the last one was him. It says he was appearing to assault a woman with a belt, and it was made public. So they basically took a clip of him in bed with a chick and spanking her with a belt and talking crazy to her. But it's from a longer video where they're doing some weirdo sex play shit, and it's like no nudity or nothing.
Man, I can't wait to.
There's part of the video where he's talking crazy to her and spanking her with a belt.
So this is
and they called it like sex trafficking. Like they attached a bunch of crazy words to it.
I can't wait till they dox me.
So wait, so again, as a person who has a vested interest and based on this game that we play, because I just want to be clear, I am ethnically Jewish, I am culturally black. I am making the declaration. So however we play this game with what you identify as, and if you can or if you can't, because the standard always changes. So the rules as they are right now is that as long as you are ethnically something, you have free reign to talk about that. So if them's the rules, I just want to be an honest actor and not say, hey, I'm a practitioner, I'm on board with all of that shit. No, culturally, I am not at all Jewish. Ethnically, I get to talk as much shit as I want. I got my 23andMe. You can't shut me down.
You're still a Jew, bro.
Right. So what I'm saying is, by the rules, I should have the power to talk shit about it. So what I'm asking
other Jews do it.
How are we canceling all of these people on the premise that they shouldn't make stereotypes about us that we prove are true in less than 24 fucking hours and nobody can talk about it? How does this help us? How does this make people like us? How does this make people not subscribe to conspiracy theories?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know I got high last and I was like, it was right, but like that's the kind of crazy thought people would
disavow. But I got what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, these are the type of crazy thoughts people can make. You see what I'm saying?
This was the thing. It was and this is what's funny too. We talk about Trump and the big lie. That's how CNN frames it, right? He said the election was stolen, which there's absolutely evidence that there was shenanigans. If you don't think there was shenanigans, you haven't looked into it. Have there always been shenanigans? Probably.
I'm from Florida. Yeah,
listen, the fuckery is nonstop. But they use that term, the big lie, because they're alluding back to Hitler. What was Hitler's big lie? Hitler had a big lie that the Jews are a religion, not an ethnicity. We are a religion, not a race. Which is kind of true because you can convert. So let's say your father is Jewish and your mother is a goy. If
you're not Jew, right? Because I think
you're not considered Jewish. Yeah. But if she converts to Judaism, you're 100% Jewish. So are we really talking about ethnicity? Or are we talking about...
It's all a shell game, like you said. It's one big shell game. It's garbage. Nobody would be talking about this shit.
I
don't blame you. I don't blame you. But I said before, you can't... There's nothing you can do once people say that God chose you as his favorite race. How do you go above that? How do you trump that? You can say you have natural given talent, or we the best dancers, we the best cooks.
You just have to associate yourself.
What do you do?
Exactly. Even if we don't do shit good, God still chose us. Fuck you.
Right. He chose us because I was willing to kill a child. That's why he chose me, bro. Listen, we've been getting busy since day one. I was ready to slaughter my own son, and God high-fived me from the clouds. It was like, that's my homie right there.
I built the boat.
Listen, he came out of the sky.
I left the unicorns because God told me to.
He came out of the sky. He high-fived Abraham, and he said, "Listen, everybody else is going to be your slave. Hang in there, buddy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
you're going to have some problems in about 1940 years, but hang in there."
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And you're gonna have problems because you're gonna bring it on yourself.
Or
Because
3,500
right
years. I don't
after
know the time.
I changed the entire rules of physics to save you motherfuckers, I killed a bunch of people in Egypt. I turned the water into blood. I choked
Killed
out
all
all
their
the
babies.
firstborn babies, the animals. I killed everything. And then
And
I
I
parted
can't
the
make
sea.
Nat and Turner.
Yeah, and
I
then I
can't have a
parted the
dog
sea,
eat a
bro.
baby.
Listen,
Yeah.
when I remember when your boy made the Christ movie back in the day.
Mel
What's his name?
Gibson.
Mel Gibson, and
Legend.
they were trying to cancel him too. I was not a child, but I was like middle school, I think, and I didn't want to watch this shit 'cause I'm like, I read the fucking book. Like, and to me,
But he's been talking that shit too. Like,
but
look,
to me, it was like, to me, when to me, reading the book all the time, 'cause I grew up Catholic, but to me, reading the book all the time, you could imagine the details. I was
No,
watching
you need
the
to
Muppets.
see. You need to see
I was
God get his
watching-
ass whooped.
But I was watching Muppet Babies, so use your imagination. I was doing that shit as a kid, reading books, and I see shit. So it's like when the movie came out, I'm like, this ain't nothing. He's just telling the truth. You know what I mean? Like, he's just going off.
It's
Yeah,
just
but
different.
Material.
his,
You know what I'm
listen,
saying? But I fell
so
asleep watching the movie, so I didn't know what was going on. so.
he's from a Vatican I household. So a lot of times people who aren't aware will be like, damn, why are Jewish people so hostile towards Christianity? It's because of Catholicism. So for a long time, Catholicism, as official position from Rome, was you Rogans did it. Even though it was the
I
Roman
see.
government,
I see.
they were like, yo, it's definitely the Jews.
That's the
So-
Christian government flip. I see that.
There was a lot of anti-Semitism, and even when you start going back to Hitler, the Catholic Church was very much helpful in getting his message out.
Oh yeah, they provided some funds too.
Absolutely. So,
Mhm.
so yes, there's a reason why there's like some to the Catholicism. But what happened?
I
was
believe it all. I believe
they
it
had
all.
they
Any
had
conspiracy,
Vatican.
anything. I believe it.
Yeah, they had Vatican II, which was kind of like, the Protestants had their Reformation. Catholicism kind of had its own Reformation within it, and it became a lot more lax, a lot less Jew hate, and it kind of changed. But Mel Gibson, grew up in a house where his dad was like, yo, the Pope was on some bullshit. They should have never changed shit. We had it right the first time. So he was raised with that, like, yeah, the Jews killed Jesus, and they're covetous, these fucking Shylock. Like, I'm sure, like, I just assume it's the worst kind of verbal racism. But as far as I know, Mel Gibson got no Jewish bodies. He's never even punched a Jewish person in the face, let alone tossed anybody into some ovens. But he has some opinions where he doesn't like Jews. Just like when you talk to some black people, they don't like them crack-ass crackers. If you talk to some black people, they don't like those ching chong Asians or whoever. If you talk to some Asians, they may tell you privately that they
Everybody
don't
hates
understand why
everybody.
Black people are so upset. Right. But we just try to play this game where who is allowed to hate and how much. And all Kanye is saying, it really seems like the parameters are set by you guys. It really feels like you guys have the final say about who's okay, who crossed the line, who's canceled. And I don't know, man, if Andrew Tate's gone, if Kanye's canceled, and who's the third one?
Oh, it was another YouTuber named Sneeko, which, funny enough,
That's
this guy, he popped off out of nowhere. Well, he's been on YouTube for a long time, but the last year and a half has been crazy. Millions of subscribers out of nowhere. He's a big red pill guy also. Don't trust women, don't be a simp. And then he starts getting into some government shit. The government doesn't want us to have free speech. And a couple of his videos, a couple of people were brought up during some meeting in the Senate, and they played some of his video. Ironically, the video that they played of him to take a clip was him interviewing Nick Fuentes.
Oh my gosh.
So you basically can't talk to certain people. Basically,
they
what
want
they're
to
saying is you
erase
can't talk to
people from everyone's consciousness. It's some 1984 shit. This dude never existed. You can't know about him.
But I never knew about these people until they get canceled. Personally,
Right.
It's only because
right.
I zone out.
I have been seeing him a little bit because, like I said, the Manosphere shit, he was popping off heavy. and talking. He had been on Fresh and Fit and like all the other red pill
Yeah,
shows.
so I'm
were
not
all
in,
having
I'm
him
not
on.
into all that. Like,
I
you know, when
listened to
Dave
him.
Chappelle said conspiracy to a T, bro, that was me to a definition. Like, I stopped that for a while. Like, I don't go too deep into it.
Yeah, I listen to him a little bit, some of that stuff just because I like to hear some of the opinions. I don't really care enough about the movement in and of itself because I think it's just something that has to work itself out. You know what I'm saying? I think,
Yeah, it's like no matter
yeah.
what we do, you guys get power and fix it.
No,
Not
I mean
fix
you're
it, but
gonna
get power.
you're gonna
Y'all
get
end
what you
up being
get.
the same thing that you hated, and it just
Right.
might be worse, and it might be even less worse. That's all. Like, it's never a shining star to it.
Listen, nobody is Jewish unless they have the card from the cult of the dangerous gentleman.
Yeah,
It's
man. Nobody's black.
$99.99 a month. We're charging for the card. You do not speak for Jewish people if you do not have the Jew card. You don't have it. And we are the arbiters of who is and who isn't. I don't know who all of these pretenders to the thrones are. These phony advocacy groups, whoever, who say they speak for all Jews. You do not. We speak for all Jews. Only us. So we say on behalf of all of Judaism, uncancel everyone. Bring back Nick Fuentes. And the best thing we can do if we are secretly controlling the world is not bring so much attention to it by canceling everyone. If we're really not doing it, it should just roll off our back.
But that's why you're the real one.
We should just roll our eyes and say, oh, more of this anti-Semitic shit. We don't need to be in an uproar until they start putting hands on us. Instead, we're content to be hypocrites and sit by while they put hands on people that disagree with us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's going the way it's going. It's been doing the same thing it's been doing for a long time. Nobody's been able to dethrone the concept of being chosen by God. I don't think there's a bigger play than that. I think the Hebrew Israelites might have the best angle. You can say God does have a favorite race, but it's not you, it's actually me. But if you're willing to accept that God has a favorite race, I mean, this is just the game you got to play.
And it's not like there isn't Jews from Israel that have written on this.
Right.
You can go and they'll talk about, there was the Khazars and a mass conversion,
and guy Jesus too was saying some stuff.
And there's the dispensation out to other places in the world. There's Russian Jews, there's Austrian Jews, there was Polish Jews, there's German Jews, but for whatever reason, you get that 23andMe, it's 100% Ashkenazi.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
How?
Because they run shit. Can you say that?
There's no Russian. I just don't buy it. But
you say they and it.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Fine. If that's what we're doing. But there's clearly an agenda to identify, and because for everybody else, like, we recognize it's kind of made up. And like, they'll tell you, they don't say Portugal or Spain. They'll just say the Iberian Peninsula. You're in that area. But for some reason with us, they can pinpoint it no matter if we're from Poland. Polish ain't showing up. If we're from Germany, if we're from Russia or we're from Austria, it doesn't show up Austrian. It just shows Ashkenazi. And I'm sorry, I call bullshit. I don't know. I'm not on the Hotep Jesus shit where
you hold the Jew card, bro. So
all of the science.
You're telling the truth.
Like, this dude is like, I don't believe any of that genetic shit. No, we have cracked the human genome. We have found huge swaths of the genetics that we understand causes certain phenomenon in your body. Like, there's shit that we have figured out. So it's not like I'm gonna throw all of it away. But for some reason, like, there seems to be this great effort to continue to present us as like this really special people that nobody can talk about. And I don't want that handicap. I don't want that. If Farrakhan wants to talk shit about the Jews, let him. Let him. If Nick Fuentes wants to talk shit about the Jews, let him. Just like we let black people talk hellish shit about pasty ass dog kissers. It's fine. Let people talk whatever they want. It's America, the free speech. We don't need to start dealing with any shit until people start raising their hands. Once people start getting violent, okay, put them down. I'm with that. Fine. But we can't keep pretending because Nick Fuentes makes a fucking gingerbread cookie joke that we're about to be thrown in ovens all over again. That we're in this such a weak position. We're such a weak people, that we're such a sensitive people that we can't tolerate these comments, and we're going to make people pay. How dare they? How dare they? No.
So weak that we could destroy you within 24 hours of saying anything wrong. Or not even anything wrong, saying something we don't like about our collective culture. We'll take you all the way down for saying that we have the power to take you all the way down.
I want this power.
Yeah, it's not. I know.
Everybody
and that's
does.
what you be advocate. Everybody,
I want this
listen,
power.
and that's why I never questioned, and that's why I defended Nick Cannon, and I've never questioned black people playing the game. Like, it's kind of like, look, what you did for these Jewish people, you're not gonna do for us. Like, and why? Because they got a book and we don't. Cool. We're just gonna start retelling that story. Oh yeah, the about to kill the kid thing, that was us. It's in Africa. We did it. I don't know what these other white dudes are talking about, but it was us. And it's kind of like, well, shit, if you've proven that it's such an effectual tool to shutting down and controlling debate and having this, I could absolutely why it would be so attractive to black people. Like, fuck, y'all seem to be getting a lot of shit done running this hustle. Fuck, can we be the chosen people for a little bit?
No.
Like, I think y'all have done well.
Mm-mm.
Like, y'all aren't committing armed robbery no more. Y'all are committing Bernie Madoff crime, right?
No,
So when that happened, right, Bernie Madoff isn't Jewish. He wasn't a Jewish dude that was stealing money. Like because he did a crime that was a stereotype, we can't acknowledge it. Like, no, that's not a thing against all Jewish people. But that doesn't mean there's not going to be a Jewish person that does it. This is just fucking stupid. And really, if the whole thing is you're insulted by the accusation that you have more loyalty to Judaism than the country that you're in, well, guess what? I'm an America first before I'm a Jewish dude. So, yeah, free speech matters more than adhering to the Jewish story about what the Bible, what the Old Testament is, if it was black people or if it was European Jews. I'm not going to put Judaism in front of America, right? So if that's the accusation, that's what we're known for doing. Why would you not be defending free speech first before you start trying to control what people can say about us? I just don't think it's a good look. I think it does more harm than good, and there needs to be more Jewish people calling it out. There needs to be. If you've got the 23andMe or the Ancestry.com protection, use it for good. Use it for good.
That would be off code. That would be completely off code. You can't be that. You'd have to be a part of the race traders community, kicking your financial future into high gear. Because why would you? Who's giving away privilege right now? What group of people is not taking full advantage of whatever intersectional privilege that they can muster to corner and fuck over everybody else? Yeah, you are. You actually are.
People,
you are.
Honest people that want to be righteous.
Yeah, nobody's giving up their privilege. Nobody is laying down their privilege for the greater whole, the greater good of some type of. It's not happening, and that's the complaint that everybody's making about other groups, even though none of them are putting down their own privilege to come to the table and have a conversation. Everybody's telling you should do it, but I'm not going to do it because that's my power. My prayer, that part is my power. So nobody's going to put it down. Nobody's going to stop it. Who's going to pull a plug on what they're doing and risk ousting themselves from their own community and being, if you go to another community and say, look, I blew the whistle. I told you all their secrets. They're going to be like, well, it's fuck you because you're still one of them. You got to pay for everything they did 300 years ago. So you're still going to be held accountable for some shit you didn't do. Even if you work to unravel it and untie the knots tied by your ancestors, you're still going to be exploited and taken advantage of as soon as you don't act right. So it's these things eat themselves constantly. People devouring each other every chance they get. It's just as soon as you give somebody privilege, it's a wrap. When you tell them they have something special by no account of their own, no meritocracy, nothing that they earned on their own. You were just born into this specific box. And since you were born in this box, these things are afforded to you. You're fucked. If you say because you're a woman, Men have to treat you really sweetly and kiss the back of your hand. We got to lay our jackets down over muddy puddles of water so you don't get your shoes wet. We got to open doors for you and pay for your meals because you were born with a vagina. You're fucked. That group of people that you try to protect they have no other choice but to grow into the biggest fucking brats you've ever seen in your life. You can slap a man because you're emotional and you can't control yourself, but he can never hit you back, or else he's not a man, and all the other men who see him hit you should kick him to death. But you could totally slap him because that's what women do. You're fucked. You're fucked. You're breeding a group of people who are just going to find any reason they can to slap a man and dare you to hit him back. If you tell black people, look, you can be extremely broken and emotionally destroyed every time you hear a non-black person say the N-word, but as soon as they walk away, you can say it 47 times in a rap song with a smile on your face. And all the trauma that you claim that was attached to the word when the white person said it magically evaporates when you say it and it becomes a term of endearment. Or you can hop out of the car with an AK-47 and say, "What's up now, nigga?" and mean it the exact same way as the people it doesn't matter. It's all a shell game. It doesn't matter. None of it fucking matters.
Or you could finger rape. You could finger rape and then be a national hero.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And have the vice president thank you for your service.
Come visit you. She can come visit you while you still got vaginal cells under your fucking fingernails from the person that you assaulted. She can come visit you and sit by your bedside and talk about how much of a hero you are, if it fits the narrative. And nobody on that particular side of the narrative is going to call it out. They're going to say, well, we don't know the whole story. We didn't see what happened before the film started rolling. You show those same people footage of something happening in the opposite direction. They're going to be like, well, I don't care what happened before the footage started rolling. This is clear. People are hypocrites if they're nothing else. That's the one thing they can do effortlessly better than almost anything else is be a hypocrite. It's right there in front of you. It's so easy. The brain will seamlessly knit these situations together. The simulation will show you two things that are exactly the same, except for the race, except for the gender of the perpetrator. Whatever it is that you need to flip your hypocrite switch, it'll show it to you, and you'll be completely blind to it. You'd be like, oh, yeah, of course that black guy needs to go to jail for 100 years for robbing a gas station. That's right. You're a hard-earning, hard-working man. You would take his money. And then, well, fucking Brett Favre stole $30 million from the welfare fund.
Right, it wasn't a gunpoint.
It was, at least he didn't. It's a victimless crime. He didn't even hurt anybody. Whatever it is you need to see.
It's Brett Favre, baby.
Yeah,
he's got to feed his family. Brett Favre's got to put food on the table.
Right. That black guy can't throw a football, so fuck him. Yeah, hey, listen, it's the same shit. No matter how you rearrange it, man versus woman, this versus that, red versus blue, people are always going to flip their hypocrite switch when it's time. That's why it's not even worth it discussing most of this shit with people. People can't be convinced of anything. They have to convince themselves. All the information has always been here. Any conclusion you want to come to, there's enough news sources to help you come to that conclusion. Whether it's real or not, whether it's at this point, really, who the fuck knows?
Nah, I gotta provoke people to action. Look, if you really Jewish and you really woke and you really love black people, I need some of you Jewish lawyers to contact Professor Griff and Kanye and do the work pro bono to show how woke you are. Help them get damages due to Jewish cancellation. Do that. Let that be your penance. Let that show, because you love black people. You're so sensitive. Nobody cares. They'll throw out this all the time. We were, when the civil rights movement was happening, look at Mississippi burning. I think that dude was Jewish that was with them, right? He was a Jew. Yeah. So we listen, we're so compassionate. We empathize with black people. Yes, we have the word Schwookie, but we don't use it in front of them. It's just a thing that we say. Don't worry about it. It doesn't mean anything.
Don't worry about it.
But we really care, and we really cool. If you're woke like that and you really want to prove how liberal you are and how much you care about black people, help Professor Grip and Kanye get their money back for being unrighteously and un-Americanly censored and shut down. Like Jewish thinkers, we haven't produced any controversial thinkers that made controversial statements. I'm pretty sure Lenny Bruce was Jewish.
Kodak's black's lawyer's Jew, and he told academics he's not for the culture.
I mean, I believe it now. The Jewish guy said it. He's chosen from God. Or could it be wrong?
Right.
I'm not questioning, man.
Right. Listen.
But look.
Yeah, it's all. I just don't see where. If anybody was in the position that those people were in, it's very, very likely that they would do the exact same thing. You telling me that if Kanye West had the power, what would Kanye West had done
It would be hard not to be corrupted by it.
to Pete? What's his name? What
Pete
was the guy?
Davidson.
What would Kanye had done to Pete Davidson's career if he could? If he had the power to just make a call, what do you think he'd be capable of? He made a video chopping his head off.
I think
Yeah,
we-
he
that's
would
it.
definitely tip the scales to have him canceled for sure.
Done
Yeah,
to him.
and that's if you're being nice. If you're being nice, he would tip the scales just to have him canceled. I feel like a lot of people with power, if they had the power, the money, the influence, and some type of cushion to feel like they wouldn't get caught or prosecuted for what they did, I think a lot of people might get them brake lines cut or some shit like that. I think it would get a little bit more serious than just being like, oh, he got fired from Saturday Night Live or some shit like that. I think they would try to hurt him. We already seen, what was it recently with the guy, Isaac Hayes' grandson or something like that. We don't like your opinion, so if you come to this place, I'm gonna make sure you get your ass beat, and possibly worse, because we don't like your opinion. Willie D talking about Stacey Dash should have got shot by the police because of something that she said on a news show. So I don't think I'd feel comfortable allowing people to live with the lie that that's not the right, but that's not the way that they would conduct themselves if they had the same power. They're only doing what they're supposed to do in that position. The same way nobody's mad about colonizing in a certain way, as long as it's done in favor of the people you identify with. If you could send some people into Europe right now from whatever parts of Africa is your favorite, if you could send them into Europe and had a plan for over the next 25 years how you could completely take over their culture, change it into an extension of your culture, and do all of this shit, how many things would be off limits? Would rape be off limits? Rape's not off limits now. People, if you go on the news and say rape has gone up, and it could have something to do with the illegal immigration that's coming from such and such place, you'll get fired over there. Even if it's absolutely just factually
Statistically
true.
undeniable, right?
Just true. You're fired, bro. You can't say that. And is that helping the situation? It's like, yeah, we don't want to seem racist. Yeah, we don't want to seem racist, but at the same time, these guys are actually doing the raping, right? They're actually doing it?
Tommy Robinson made a whole career out of it. I don't know if y'all know who that is. That dude in England.
Yeah, he was doing like covering crimes, and they trying to cancel that guy. I think he actually went to jail, didn't he?
He did go to jail
Yeah.
a couple of times.
Yeah, he
And-
went to
and
jail
it
for
was-
basically for saying shit, right? Like he didn't assault
Yes.
anybody, he didn't beat up no cops, like,
No,
he
for
didn't kill
taking
no
footage.
immigrants.
Nope. All
No.
he did was point out, like, yo, there's Muslim groomer gangs that are basically raping underage girls.
Jail.
Yeah.
For them? No, for you. For actually saying that. No, I got some proof. I got some video evidence. That means you go to jail even longer now.
And that's why it's like I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta just I gotta make this this Kanye Noah's Ark shit happen, because I can't for the life of me figure out any rationale behind, I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there of why this and why that and how it's all going down, and honestly, when you start looking at it from that perspective, it kind of makes sense, because I look for any kind of rationale behind why a rape is less egregious and less offensive than pointing out the racial or ethnic identity of the rapist, how that gets you in jail. Like I can't figure it out. Like, unless there really is this systematic plot being carried out, that yeah, they really want to weaken the concept of the nation. And it's not about how that population is affected, or if they even care or love all of these people. Because I don't think they care at all. I think it's just about, when we get all these disparate groups together, it's going to be a lot harder for that people to be galvanized together if they're going to resist. So if you're like, look, this New World Order shit that OC was telling you about in '96, that all of this shit that hip hoppers used to be all about, fucking quoting William Cooper and Jordan Maxwell and Busta Rhymes telling you there's only 4 years left. All of this shit seemed to have been completely evaporated out of the consciousness. Like nobody knows what the fuck the New World Order is anymore, or like it's not a thing, when everything that's happening now is absolutely in service to make that happen. So that's the only thing I could think of why you would introduce all of these different ethnic groups that aren't assimilating and it's causing chaos and dissension in those people groups, because it's so much easier at that point to rob a nation of its nationhood. And to get everybody to think in terms of like, nah, it's a global economy. It's a global connectivity. There are no more borders. There are no more people groups. Like we're all under this one banner. Like overlooking rape in service of that agenda makes sense. In any other world, for any other agenda, I can't make sense of it. Like, why would you ignore the fact that your citizens are being raped or murdered? And rising rates from people that you're allowing to go there that shouldn't be there.
And peep this too. If it was any other modifier, it would probably be taken with more seriousness and the extra information would be appreciated. If you said there's been an uptick in rapes in the last 6 months in this part of town, and every one of them, or 85% of those rapes have been committed by dudes wearing yellow shirts. They'd be like, oh, is it like a gang or something? Like, do they all know each other? Should we keep an eye on these guys in yellow shirts? And that information.
It would inform your investigation.
Right. You'd have a way to go. People would have something to look out for. If they just say, yo, they're like all the people who've been doing the raping are like Liberian refugees and shit. I'm like, oh, no, that's not. We can't use that. Like, wait, is it true though? Or are you just guessing that? Is that just what you're saying? Like, no, they're doing it. That's who's doing it. The ones we call the Liberian. And like, do you think they know each other? Like, actually, all like 11 of them lived in the same house. Okay, so I think we need to discuss how long we want to put you in jail for being a bigot. That don't make no sense to me. It's like an ulterior motive. Something else has to be happening here. Because I mean, the only thing I care about, honestly, is if the rapes are actually being committed. If it's some like Negro libido fear. They're just like, you know what I'm saying? There's something's happened. They're stealing our wives in the middle of the night. They grow tails and they jump in our window. Like, that's different from actually being boots on the ground numbers. Like, yo, these dudes are wilding out here. And some of the footage that you can see from some of the women journalists who go over there, they're taking footage, and a lot of it I've seen in other places. Like if you go to certain foreign countries as a white woman, you just have to accept the fact that you're going to get surrounded by brown men. Like, they're going to come surround you. When you go to the beach and you wear your bikini and shit, when you open your eyes, there's going to be 143 dudes standing around you just staring at you and shit like that.
Some of them end up getting killed when they be going to these places.
Yeah, they do. Because, and I think there's a certain part of society that has in their mind still accepted the savage sex beastery that is attributed to brown men. So that it's almost like we treat those women who get hurt or sexually assaulted in those places, we treat them like the people that hop the gate at the zoo. And it's not the same thing. Like, if you hop the gate at the zoo and you get your ass beat by a gorilla, you had that coming. You know what gorillas are. But if you happen to go to Dubai, you wear lipstick so you get raped by 4 people, that's not the same as hopping the gate at the zoo. And if it is, if you want to use those same rules of logic, like, well, she should have known not to wear lipstick in Dubai, nuke that shit.
Yeah, there's a problem with that place.
Yeah,
and it happened a couple times. Like, there was chicks that are like, I'm going to ride my bike all through the Middle East. I'm going to backpack through Yemen, and
right.
They've all gotten raped and murdered.
Okay.
Like, I mean, if there's one that's successfully gotten through the dick gauntlet, let me know.
They keep running. They don't stop.
But just to say, like, look, there's parts in the world where there's not the same respect for women's autonomy and control over their body. Like, whether you're having sex or not is not up to you in certain parts of the world. To deny that reality, and that it's culturally inculcated to such a degree that it's predictable that's going to happen and nobody's going to jail. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, I'd hate it. I guess it's an unfortunate analogy, but it lines up. It lines up. Like, maybe the gorilla pets you. Maybe the gorilla thinks of you as its own and adopts you and pets your head, and you get out of there safe. Maybe Harambe was never going to eat the baby, like what's definitely happening in my feature film Turner and Nat, coming this Christmas 2023. Maybe that would have, but if you see that it's happening, right, then like, nah, you predicted wrong. You predicted wrong. You absolutely got raped and killed.
This is what happened when white women backpack through the Middle East right here. I'm sorry. I just thought about that. We don't need it, bro. We don't need it. That's terrible. So some of these places obviously have some political problems. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the solve is. Y'all know what my stance on this shit is, and that's the only piece I get to have out of any of this, is because I really don't believe that humans have the answer. Not in their current state, not in their current configuration. I don't think they have the answer. I don't think it. There may be some things that could possibly improve certain situations for certain people, but even that, to enact the things that are going to improve the situation for certain groups of people, you're still, I think, calling on something metaphysical. There's nothing that you're going to write down on a piece of paper that says, look, these things will make black people's lives better. Because there's always going to be a bunch of people that be like, yo, what the fuck? What about me? I mean, what about, these black people over here doing fine? It's not all of them. It's going to be too much conversation. You're appealing to a compassion that we've already agreed doesn't exist in the people that you're trying to get it from. You may assume that it exists in a different round of people that you want to elect. Maybe you think Hillary Clinton doesn't have the right level of compassion, but you think Bernie Sanders does. In my opinion, the only thing that we're waiting for is you to be proven wrong about this other person that you believe in. That's my opinion. But if you are of the opinion that no, this guy Beto O'Rourke is going to do it, or this fucking guy, he's got the right idea, I would just say go for it. Vote. Maybe your person gets elected, and after they get elected, let's see if those things change and affect that group of people the way you thought it would, or does the fuckery of human the human experience, the fucking hypocrisy of humans come back into play and do the exact same thing that it's done most effectively for the last few thousand years, probably since recorded history. I'd say since recorded history. And before that, it was the same thing with just less politics. It was beat you on the top of your head with a club, drag this woman off into a cave to be impregnated. That's what it was. It's a little different now. Yeah, it's a little bit different now. You may not get the club directly to the head, but you can get the Chinese water torture of a depressed existence for the next 40 years of your life if you don't get hooked on prescription medication or just take yourself out or whatever. Who knows? There's a lot of options in this play. There's a lot of levels you can insert yourself into, a lot of layers of the matrix, but it's all the same shit when it's all said and done.
Women got it rough. Women live in a society where they have to worry about getting raped every day. Men only have that worry when it comes to jail.
No, men just don't accept that worry. That's just a worry that we don't accept into our consciousness. Women don't necessarily have to worry about it either, but that's something they decide to because they have box anxiety. If you had a crevice in you, you probably have anxiety too. Walking around.
I got a question though. Do we have is there any man rapists in history?
Yeah.
Just in prison.
No.
No.
Nope.
I know
not
that
outside.
But,
yes.
No, that's what I mean. Like
yes.
someone who's like a
some
serial
killers.
rapist, he's just raping straight dudes.
Yes.
Some serial killers have.
Where's that biopic?
Have done that.
No, but who wants to make that movie?
They'll make it.
Who wants to be this? Who wants to star in that movie? Who wants to star in that movie? Okay,
somebody canceled it. There was I forgot who it was. They were gonna be a serial killer and they decided not to. There's some famous person that he decided not to be part of the movie no more. I guess the Dahmer thing freaked him out.
The way I'm gonna get away with filming fuck zombies is I'm gonna have a laugh track whenever they start seducing. As long as you have the laugh track under it, it's not as brutal.
So here we go. This is just one, by the way. Reynard Sinaga jailed for life for raping dozens of men in Manchester. He's believed to have lured nearly 200 victims to his flat and attacked them. Now,
What was
again,
the age of them?
195 men over 2.5 years. All but 48 of the victims whose case came to court were raped. All but 48 of them were raped.
Nigga, I would have fought and beat the shit out of you. I don't know, bro. No, you're not gonna lure me either, so I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. And this is not the only one.
Coming over my house today. Like, no, nigga.
This is not the only one. There's other dudes. See, this is also in the vein of some Jeffrey Dahmer shit where he's luring men back to his house.
Yeah.
These are people who already wanted to get busy, but they weren't planning on getting busy the way he was.
And then a person
thing
like
is,
him goes to
Nah.
jail.
I need the Patrice O'Neal styled jumping out of the bushes rapity.
yeah,
rape.
oh yeah, that happens too. That happens too. And strangely enough, in London, it was London, whatever,
Of course it was.
It's not strange. It actually happens a lot over there.
Yeah. Yeah, just dude runs up on you, throw you down on the ground, and then when you wake up, your pants are unbuttoned.
Yeah, he says, I got it in you now, innit?
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, God. No, I mean, and then you got to think, too, how many people would even report that shit? How many people would call the cops?
No man will self-righteously go to the cops and
Nah,
say he got raped. And even if he did, he'll get laughed at by the police officers. So it's something you got to hold to the grave. And
Nah,
tell
that
nobody.
at that point, you
Or just
rent
kill yourself.
an unmarked van. You're on stakeouts with coffee cups, and you're like Liam Neeson after his
Yeah,
friend got raped.
that
You're
too.
just
Or
out there.
Fuck
you're looking
100
for somebody.
prostitutes.
Nah,
Get the gay off of you.
you gotta murder. At that point, somebody's
But no,
gotta
I'm
die.
killing
Yeah.
you. So I'm killing you, bro. I'm waiting to the spot. I'm waiting to the spot where like this happened. I'm gonna dress
Dude,
the same.
that's what I'm
outfit.
saying. If
You're going down,
dude,
You're going down.
you're walking out of the Piggly Wiggly, and some dude just snatches you up and throws you down, and recreates the scene from
That Georgia movie. They're by the I forgot the name of the movie, but like they were in a forest. And
Deliverance.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's an old 70s
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
and they end up getting raped. The dude, like, you're dying, bro.
Yo, this one
Yeah, I
says a black man accused French police of raping him. Police claim it was an accident.
I'm sorry that I laughed. I'm sorry
It's
that I
France,
laughed.
dude. I'm not surprised.
The France's National Police Force determined that the incident was not a rape because of the unintentional character of the penetration. So they admit
know
that
what
there was
people-
penetration, but it was the unintentional character of the penetration proved that it wasn't a rape.
They need police that bad in France. That's crazy.
I gotta know more. That sounds like to me like they're trying to do a cavity search or you know what I mean?
Police claimed during the interaction the man's pants slipped down on their own.
But did a penis go in his butt? If a
Yeah,
penis didn't
that's
go
what
in
we're
his
trying to
butt,
figure out.
I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah.
They apply what is a truncheon blow? Oh, so it looks like they used the billy club on him.
Oh, that's what's that? That's like the not Amadou
Quentin
Diallo.
Tarantino.
What was the,
Yeah,
Quentin
that was
Tarantino.
one of them.
Abner Louima.
Yeah, Abner Louima.
Abner
Yeah.
Louima was the one.
Yeah, see, and listen, but it does happen on the street. Again, this is just something that men don't think about. So women walk around there in fear of being attacked on the way to their car. Men are attacked more than women, and if you're not thinking about being attacked on the way to the car in your parking lot, it's probably because you have a hero complex and you think you're the Vin Diesel of your movie.
Look,
Not because there's no
anti-hero-
threat.
Yeah.
Not because
Listen.
there's no threat. You just don't recognize that threat. And that is not a privilege given to you by society to be unaware of your surroundings and aloof about the dangers around you. That's not a privilege. So women say, oh, we got to think about this. That's a privilege to walk to your car at midnight and not think about getting attacked. No, it's not, because it could happen to anybody. And 85% of the times, maybe more, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But the fear, I don't think society is entitled to making you feel safe. Whether you are safe or not is different. Like, there's supposed to be things in place to make you actually be as safe as possible. But I don't think society owes you the feeling that you are safe at all times. I don't think that's realistic.
It's absolutely not realistic, and I got something new to submit for the Dangerverse. And this dude is an anti-hero. he hangs out with Talib Kwanzaa and Penalize, and he's an anti-hero that rapes bullies, heterosexual bullies. He's a man rapist who just hardcore goes out. He's like Dexter, and he has to do it, but he picks his targets as people that are sexually aggressive bullies.
I like it.
That's it. I think that one would absolutely catch on fire. People
The rapist raping the rapist.
Yeah, but he's only rape. So like a dude's a little too pushy, and a girl's and this dude goes out and offends him. Like, oh, you like making people feel helpless, and and he just goes out and he enacts revenge rape. I mean, with the Rex Unit 5000, we've already got preemptive rape, but I don't think there's a lot of man-on-man revenge rape. I think that story needs to be told. And if you could show me the article, corrective rape, he gets their mind right. Like, you can't treat people like this. I'm going to show you what it's like to have to be the woman. So for an alpha male heterosexual type dude who's walking around with all this machismo, this is a hero you can root for, because he's going to be humbled. He's going to humble the way that the Iron Sheik used to threaten to humble people. He's going to humble you.
I have to say that this has been handed to us in a few new media packets as of late. I watched a while back. I watched a show called Godfather of Harlem. It follows like the life and times of Bumpy Johnson, and it has Forrest Whitaker playing Bumpy Johnson. And there's a scene in there where a black cop assaults Bumpy Johnson's daughter. She was like a crackhead and shit, and the cop thought, he could just get away with it. So they had her in for questioning. While she was in for questioning, he threw her on a table and violated her. So Bumpy Johnson caught the guy later, and he had a dude come in. I forget what he called the dude, but he was like, yo, basically, this is Big Pipe Pete, and he came to teach you a lesson. And they had the guy, he got served in return. Now, that's an easy 1-for-1. So it's like, you did this, so I do that to you. It's going to be more difficult just to use it as a corrective behavior modifier, just in it for anything else, because there's another show called Snowfall where some people stole some money from some drug dealers. So they go to the guy's house and they're like, yo, where's the money? They're beating him up. He's not giving up the money. So one of the three guys that they're with, he takes the dude in the room and he pounds him out because he wants to find the money. And then I guess the guy finally tells him where the money is and he finds it. But it's like, well, I mean, you might as well. I mean, what else are they going to do? They're going to kill you. Why even give up the location of the money after you've been pounded out? You took all these other beatings, you've been smacked and pistol whipped, and you kept it to yourself. And he's already pounding you out. So you might as well just not tell him. He's not going to stop. But yeah, that was part of
that's what he wanted.
That was part of the interrogation. He was asking for it.
If you took everything else, I'm just saying.
Right, he was waiting for him to amp it up to a place that he could really respect, and his reward for finally stepping up to the plate was, "I'll tell you where the money is."
It's kind of weird.
Because if you're gonna tell him where the money is, you tell him where the money is right when he takes you in a private room and starts tugging at your pants. You're like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you got me. I'm all right. Look, it's right there.
Yeah, even if you was bluffing, you got me when you start tugging at my belt buckle. I'm done. I don't want to play no more. The money's in the cabinet.
That
game's over.
It's under the floorboards.
Tells me he Brer Rabbited that whole situation. he could have saved himself an ass whooping and just been like, "Oh, I hope you sure don't try to pull down my pants and rape me." I definitely wouldn't tell you then.
I could take all this beating and pistol whipping, but the one thing I could never take,
Pipe and Petey. No way, can't do it.
Nah, that's terrible. That's terrible. I don't know. It's gonna be difficult to justify corrective rape as a punishment for anything other than being a rapist yourself.
No, he's like the sexual harassment avenger. He's like Dexter, but with heterosexual man rape. So for men that are abusive towards women or sexually aggressive towards women, this is a way he avenges.
It works.
I mean, it's just like the Petey Pipey story that you told. It would be exactly like that, like a dude that's enacting it. So yeah, maybe if you didn't actually rape, right? You just were like sexually aggressive. He pins you down and greeks you so that he just rubs it between your thighs. So you know that he could have got you, but he's letting you go.
Yeah.
just to instill the fear. I don't know. I don't know what I would even name that character. I just feel like I feel like I feel like that's a character you could get away with because nobody cares about heterosexual man rape.
No. Yeah.
A man raping a woman, horrible, horrible. Men raping other men, hilarious. It's got like the whenever you see it on TV, it's the what like that Benny Hill music, like like it's a riot. Yeah, so I just think you could get you definitely couldn't get like this bitch lied so that she could get custody of the kids. Go, you're gonna send this dude over to rape her to his vengeance. Like that wouldn't work. That'd be horrific. But if you had a character that was a man who was only raping other heterosexual men who really, really didn't want it and was for some kind of righteous cause, I think you could get it. I think people would cheer it on.
This is a piece of the one from Snowfall where they go to get the money from the guys. He's not talking, and the one guy takes him in the room and he's like, "I'm gonna fix it."
That one because it's
Fair use.
Fair use, YouTube. Don't get mad.
Fair use. We're critiquing.
He's killing them, man.
He's killing him, man. No, he ain't killing him. And the guy's in there like, "Yo, what is you doing, bro?" It's like, all the pistol whipping and the kicking and I get that, but what you doing? He's like, "Oh, this is weird, man."
What?
I'm pretty sure there's some man butt stuff going on.
stinks right
He
now.
ain't killing him.
The thumping is too rhythmic. He ain't killing him. And it's just like, what? And this is the guy they came with to help them get their money back. I think this is when you know you're in too deep.
Right. You hired the wrong person. Yes, they're
That's the
effective,
moment.
but at what cost?
This is not for me.
Yeah. And then what do you think he's going to do once he finds our money that we brought him here to get back for us? If we couldn't get the information from him, he takes the guy in the room, does some next level shit that none of us are ready to fully be involved with. When he gets the information, that's his money now. Y'all know how far he's willing to go. How far are y'all willing to go? So yeah, you're screwed. That's his money now. It's over for you, bro. But yeah, this is, like I said, this has been something that's been, I guess, not played around with. That's a bad way to put that. But this is something that's been repackaged and handed to us a few times recently. Like, again, because nobody really cares about it. We can use it as a plot point to know how bad. Like, oh yeah, damn, that's messed up. He really got what was coming to him. But the trauma and the whole like the violation of it is definitely not as palpable when it's a dude. I guess they're just tough. Like, like 300, they can take it.
Yeah,
they're like Spartans, bro. They can take it. Nobody can take it like a Spartan.
Take it like a Spartan.
Oh, dude, is that like could I farm the LGBT community with t-shirts? Is that a good t-shirt to sell them for pride parades and shit?
I think it's great. I don't think I'm ever going to have sex with my wife again without slapping her on the ass and saying that to her before
take
we
it
go.
Like a Spartan.
Hey, babe, you ready to take it like a Spartan?
Holy shit. That's gotta be, I know that's problematic somewhere. Would Greeks be mad about that? Or like who would take offense at take it like a Spartan? I don't think anybody would. I think that's a perfect one right there. You can't get mad about that.
Yeah. I mean,
like a Spartan. Yeah, I'm writing that down. That's going to be one of my next t-shirts for sure. I'm putting that out into the world. I'm just going to tweet it and see if I can get a few bites on Twitter. Hashtag LGBT, take it like a Spartan.
And I forget what the symbol is. It almost looks like a triangle or an A or something. You can have it like as a person, like with their legs spread, like bending over.
Oh,
you just
my
see their
gosh.
head and the. Yeah, I mean you could almost argue that's the origins of the letter A. If you thought it out well enough, you could make it a nice Reddit post and people would run with it.
I accept it.
Yeah, it's a Spartan bending over and taking it like a Spartan. That's where we get that symbol from.
Yeah, I definitely accept it. I think it's on point. It's beautiful, hilarious. Yeah, I'm making a t-shirt tonight, actually. I'm not even going to bullshit on that, but I'm making it tonight.
This might put us over the edge, dude. You put the Roy G. Biv coloring in there.
Yeah. See, that's all we need is one thing. All we need is one thing to properly pop off, and then we can flood the money into everything else. So if y'all are listening, get prepared. Even if you're not in the LGBT community, I think you should have a Take It Like a Spartan shirt, just as a conversation starter. You can wear that anywhere. Wear it to the pizzeria, wear it to Ybor on the weekend. Just
Wear it to the gym.
Definitely wear it to the gym.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get sexually harassed at the gym.
And then use it to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good,
Take it off and use it to wipe up.
good Lord. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. I say wear it to the gym and see if you get sexually harassed by another man. That's something that everybody needs, every dude needs to experience, just so you know what you could possibly be putting women through. And you can have a deeper respect for people who don't want to talk to you and don't want to be offered sex from you. I think you should Take It Like a Spartan shirt, tie it up high, tie it in a knot in the front, and just go do some workouts at the gym and see how, if you feel disgusted when a man tries to give you some sexual advances, then you're a bigot and you have some evolving to do.
Yeah.
I mean, is there even any argument? Most people are bigots now anyway. From one way or another, somebody's going to be able to call you a dinosaur bigot. So just accept it and start unraveling your own bigotry, starting with trolling, sex trolling dudes at the gym. Is that entrapment? That's like some kind of sexual entrapment, just so you could call. I don't think men can call sexual harassment on other men.
Nah, I
I'd be
want
too
to.
embarrassed.
Just got to deal with it.
I want to see a T-Rex with a Klansman hood over his head, and underneath it just says traditionalism.
Wow. Yeah, T-Rex with a hooded figure. Like, that's not necessarily a Klansman. It's just a hooded figure. That's all it is.
No, I think just him. Like, you see his eye and the green around it, and his mouth is open, so you see the teeth. But it's just he's wearing clearly a Klan hood.
I love it.
Traditionalism, a Klan hood on a T-Rex. It's traditionalism.
It's a dinosaur
Going back
bigot.
to original values.
A literal dinosaur bigot by himself, not even with a mounted man on it. Just a T-Rex
Right.
with
Just
the hood
him.
on.
And you can't be really bad at him. It's like their brains were so small. I don't even think he really understands this hate that he's espousing.
Exactly. That makes it even better. That's a whole nother dimension that makes it even better.
Oh, dude. Maybe that's how we can satiate this bloodlust for wokeism. Is just tell everybody like dinosaurs were actually the most racist creatures in the history of the world, and we can all relish in the fact that God threw a comet at them to take them all out, and we can just start putting all of our race hatred in the past. It's like it actually all died with the comet and the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs were the most racist. We've done studies. We've got the DNA. We've mapped out a dinosaur's brain. It's 98% racism. It's just 98% race hate. There was 2% eating and fucking and surviving. That's in there somewhere, but most of it is just like, I hate these motherfuckers.
Hey, you know what? There could be a thread there. But I think there's going to be some people who think that's a scapegoat, like blaming on the dinosaurs.
Yeah, but it's all of this is scapegoating.
Yeah, scapegoat.
We might as
everything.
well scapegoat people who can't be harmed anymore.
Ad infinitum. Just keep
Yeah,
going. Just keep going until it can't stop anymore. And maybe by the time we get to the bottom, we'll figure something out in here. But as of right now, I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Retrofit all of like the old slave movies like Roots and shit, and just superimpose dinosaurs. Like, just have dinosaurs doing it. It's dinosaurs in Nazi uniforms. Like, just start this campaign to go to the most egregious, horrific things in history, and then just Photoshop dinosaurs in there. It's their fault.
That's how you teach kids about racism. With dinosaurs. So so this is the homework we got. We need to pick different races, assign them dinosaurs, and retell specific stories of racism with the dinosaurs. Like when the T-Rexes burned down the Raptor Town. Shit, you know what I'm saying? We gotta just do it with all dinosaurs. That way kids can start hating specific types of dinosaurs. Instead of hating themselves, hating other people, they could just be like, T-Rexes are bad. The only people who are going to be mad is the parent who knows what the T-Rex represents.
Yeah, they wouldn't even let the Stegosaurus go to school with them.
Right.
They made the Triceratops drink from a different pond.
And the parents still would hate it. They'd be like, "No, that T-Rex wasn't that bad." Just because that's exactly what they do. They start making excuses for the dinosaur's bad behavior. because they
Fucking
see
liberal
themselves.
propaganda. You know, all the dinosaurs owned slaves. You know that, right? They were
No.
sold by other dinosaurs.
It's a proven fact that only like 3% of T-Rexes even owned raptors as slaves. It was only like 3%. Most of the T-Rexes were actually trying to free the raptors, technically.
Yeah, that's what it would descend into.
Yep.
That's where no one is ever going to be happy with anything.
Dude, let's do it. Let's make a children's book explaining racist and horrible, like the Nanking Massacre. But they got to be two types of dinosaurs that look exactly alike. We can't tell them apart. We can't tell them apart. It's just two dinosaurs look exactly like, slight difference. One's killing the other one, and that's how we do it. And I want to see how long it takes the parents to actually create some type of circumvention of the blame on the groups of dinosaurs because they know who it represents.
Or even all of this sexually explicit stuff that they're putting in schools. Just retell it with dinosaurs.
I like that better. I think that's a way better idea. You can't be mad at it. Well,
yeah,
you
just
can.
talk about dinosaurs sucking each other off. Not your 10-year-old. Can't tell them about other teenagers sucking each other off and like this belongs in the public library. It's too explicit. But listen. That's the compromise, dude. This is the greatest thing ever assembled. This is how we bring liberals and conservatives together. We compromise. Like you can still try to groom the kids and eventually tell them what the dinosaurs really are. So we'll still let you try to groom the children. So we respect what you want to do, and we respect that you don't want this explicit shit in there. So we'll just have dinosaurs do all the fucking. No, your kid's not going to be aroused by dinosaur fucking. And if he is, there's something even worse wrong with him. And he was going to be groomed anyway because he's into some weird shit. I think that's a healthy compromise.
It's his fault. I'm ready. This is way better than what they're doing right now. So what's the first? So we got Nate. What was it?
Nat and Turner.
Turner and Turner. We got Turner and Nat. Just
The
we got to
Adventures of
reverse it
Turner
so it's
and
not
Nat.
too on the nose.
It's the spiritual successor to Milo, The Adventures of Milo and Otis.
Turner and Nat. I love it. And explaining racism through dinosaurs.
Through dinosaur
and
sex.
We've already established that white people are the T-Rex.
And take it like a Spartan.
White people, black people are Triceratops.
And let's not forget Little Schindlers. Adorable.
Oh my god.
Adorable.
I can make a movie poster for that one in like 5 minutes. That's gonna be easy. I would just use one of these little romper room fonts, find some black and white baby pictures, and Little Schindler's List, bro. That might be one that like Key and Peele might do. I don't know how much trouble that would get you in, but it seems like one of the most doable.
Dude, a shot-for-shot recreation with all baby versions, dude. When you said written in crown with the backwards R, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Who's called up next? Who's next on the list? It pans down to the baby. And you see as he's looking at the little crown drawings, he's putting some of it in his mouth. Like they're just totally not paying attention. And you just subtitle the whole fucking thing. And you just film babies in this adorable recreation of Auschwitz.
There's a lot of
fucking
parents that would
amazing.
be down. There's a lot of parents that would be down. And I ain't mad at them. I think it's a great film. I think it'll make a lot of money from the people who love it and the people who hate it. And those are the best. Those are the absolute best. I'm with it, dude. So yeah, I'm gonna get that Little Schindler's poster up for you. I think that deserves to be introduced into the world. So I'll tweet that one. I'm gonna tweet Take It Like a Spartan. I think I'll keep Turner and Nat to ourselves for now. I'll work on some graphics for that one too. We need a whole page where we just have all of our concept films on display with mock-up movie posters.
You know what?
Where that can be found, so people can scroll through it, and maybe, just maybe, somebody with a bunch of bread will be like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Maybe Yui Bowl or somebody like that.
Dude, we've been talking about it. I'm gonna make it a point to do it. I think that we need to start putting out GoFundMes and really lay it out and solicit money for it.
Yeah. The worst case scenario is they give us the money and we actually have to make the movie.
Yeah.
That's the worst case scenario. It's like, oh, we this many people actually wanted to see Little Schindler's List, so now you got to make it. You're obligated. We'll be like,
Tyler Perry Studio in Atlanta. We'll get it done.
You know what? That's the only place you can shoot that film. It has to be at Tyler Perry Studio.
Dude, Kanye's gonna fund The Compound and Little Schindlers. I just feel like if I could,
He
get
has
his
to be
ear,
anonymous.
If I could, no, I think he he said DEFCON 3. I think he's ready to fund this film.
It's just guarded awareness. That's all
Right.
it
He's
is.
not advocating for any violence. He's just saying certain films need to be made for the public.
Be vigilant.
That's all
He's
he's
saying be vigilant, brothers and sisters. Don't be sleeping. Stay woke. That's all.
woke.
That's all he's saying is stay woke. Keep a side eye out for whoever you think might be a problem. But he had a particular group of people in mind. But I'm just saying, just vigilance all the way around is probably just a good idea in general. I don't think anybody can argue with that.
Well, I mean, I'm ready to go ahead and say that this was yet another successful venture into the world of absurdity mining.
Absolutely. And I appreciate it because we got some one of these movies could be a absolute hit in the family. Like if we don't get too gory, we could pull off Turner and Nat as a family movie in the same vein as Milo and Otis without going too dark. If we decide to go all the way dark, we make it like a Saw installation and we get Eli Roth to do it. And then we just go all the way left. So I think that's got some serious potential. And Little Schindler's out of the park. That's a home run. That's a home run. Nobody's beating that. Nobody's topping that.
It's adorable. It's a total expansion of Axis of Evil photography, baby photography.
Yeah, that's how we find our clients for the babies. Yep. You want your baby to be famous. You're taking fancy pictures of them. So we got another opportunity for you. Just slide it right on over here. Let's make a movie. They don't even have to do nothing. You just got to be babies. We got a nice fucking, we got crocheted barbed wire. It's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful. It's a hit movie waiting to happen. Let's get to it. So, yeah, that might be the answer. You're right. Let's just start GoFundMes. Who cares? Let them tell us no. Instead of just assuming that nobody would be crazy enough to fund this movie, let them prove it. Let them prove nobody's crazy enough. We got to put the ball in their hands.
I think $5 million. I think we could make that movie for $5 million.
I think so.
Because you gotta get insurance. You're gonna have to deal with the casting, pay the actors. I think you're gonna have to pay for like permits. You got to hire an editor, right? I mean, really, the film could be captured on an iPhone camera.
We could edit our own shit, but
I mean,
hiring actors and
we could do it on the cheap. But I'm just thinking like to really realistically get it done. I mean, I'm sure we could do it for cheaper. Maybe I'm going too big, but
no, $5 million.
I agree.
Yeah, right.
I agree. $5 million.
Don't me them down. Don't do it.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. $5 million. $5 million it is. So yeah, let's get this GoFundMe cracking. If it doesn't work, we'll just load up another idea, another movie, and we'll just have a rotating GoFundMe until the world proves us correct and hands us all the bread to make one of these crazy ass things come to life, dude. Starting with Little Schindlers. That's our first legit GoFundMe campaign. Let's see if they let us do it.
Gentlemen,
we're laughing about it now, but shit like this be happening for real.
If they could create South Park, we can create Little Scissors List.
I appreciate you, gentlemen. It is the greatest think tank ever assembled. If I didn't believe it the first time I uttered it, I can't deny it now. It is absolutely the truth. I appreciate y'all.
Dola, this is the way.
This is the way.
Yeah, man. Y'all brothers take it easy, and I'm sure we'll be linking the build again soon.
Y'all stay safe.
Yeah, man.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Stay woke.
Bless.
Peace.
Metaphysics is going to have to be the quote-unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely.